And now, welcome to the pit, that Cajun queen, the fairy godmother of First Amendment, intimidating auditors and public servants alike. Here she is. It's Teresa Rescheduled.
Well, we're live. Did you guys see my new intro? I'm going to play it one more time.
And now, welcome to the pit, that Cajun queen, the fairy godmother of First Amendment, intimidating auditors and public servants alike. Here she is. It's Teresa Rescheduled.
That's so much fun. Someone made the audio for me, which I love, and then I put the video, to it. So anyway, that's really cool. Anybody wants to join the panel, you're welcome to. NJ's here. How you doing, NJ?
Good evening.
NJ's here.
Surviving.
Let me ask you something, NJ. Was that a marathon panel that you were on? Was that today?
I was on a panel earlier. I wouldn't have called it a marathon. I left rather shortly.
I felt like you were on that panel for a long time, and I don't know why. I think it's because I started watching it, and then I went outside and I worked in the yard for a little while, and I cleared out like half of the flower bed. It was a really messy flower bed. And then when I came back in, I looked and you were still on there. And I really didn't even notice that you were still on there, but I put my earbuds back on and it's playing in the background and I'm listening and then I hear your voice and I'm like, is NJ still on that panel? How long has it been?
It was a few hours, but as it was, I got a lot of work done on the side. I didn't really participate.
Welcome, bless your heart. I'm so honored to have you on my panel. I'm not hearing you. Did you hear her, NJ?
Not yet.
I saw her open the mic, but I didn't hear any audio. I'm not sure. Sometimes there's a little setting button where it says at the bottom of the screen, camera mic. It's got a little cog, and you might try and see if your microphone is set to the correct microphone, or I don't know. I see your mic is open now. I'm not hearing you though. All right, I have Travis in the back room. I don't know Travis. Travis doesn't have an icon, but we're going to bring him up and see how this goes. You ready for this, NJ? All right, I have Travis in the back room. I don't know Travis. Travis doesn't have an icon, but we're going to bring him up.
Travis needs to mute his YouTube.
Travis, you got to turn the YouTube stream down, or, actually, it's probably better for your bandwidth if you just pause it.
Needs to mute his YouTube.
Travis, you got to turn the YouTube.
Yeah, I did. I shut it off.
Or, actually, it's probably better for your bandwidth if you just pause it. So
Yeah,
we
I
can still
tend to
hear it in
pop-
the background. I hope it's not me. Let me check mine.
Yeah, I did. I shut it off.
Yeah, I usually pop out the chat and shut off the YouTube.
In the background. I hope it's not me. Let me check mine. Yeah, we're still getting a reverb off of you, Travis. Do you have
Okay, let me get it fixed real quick. Sorry, guys. There we go. How's that?
let's see. Much better. Seems to be much better. How you doing tonight, Travis?
Well, I'm doing good.
What brings you to the panel tonight? Are you here for the support group, the the 10th Man support group? We didn't
No,
know if you had been chastised by 10th Man or not, but we are here to support each other
I
tonight
keep
if you
getting
have.
feedback. Double talk on yours, Teresa.
How about you, NJ? Am I reverbing?
No, I have you fine.
Okay, how do I sound now, guys?
You're coming in fine and clear.
Okay, good.
Anyway, Travis, I don't know that we've ever met before, have we?
No, we haven't. I've watched you and a lot of other auditors. I'm recently retired from the military.
Oh, good. So you watch auditors and you're retired from the military. My dad was in the Army. He's not retired from the Army, but, he was in the Army for, I guess, about 8 or 9 years. There's a lot of people that were in the military and some former police officers that enjoy watching
Yeah,
auditor streams.
Travis, if I may ask, what branch?
I was in the Army for over 20 years and in the Marine Corps for over 3.
So what do you think about auditing videos?
What I love it. I love it because it involves the Constitution. It's what I swore to follow as a soldier and protect and defend. That is the reason why I've been watching this stuff for a long time.
It's a shame some of the auditors don't follow it.
Sasquatch. How you doing tonight, Sasquatch?
Doing good.
How's Tormund doing?
He's sleeping in his swimming hole.
Sasquatch, this is Travis. Travis, this is Sasquatch.
Howdy, Travis.
Hey, how you doing, Sasquatch?
Much more fun. I'd probably get arrested.
Before I get going too far, I want to let everybody know that we're having a little contest tonight for the best potato joke. I have a gift for the person who, gives us the best potato joke in the comment section there tonight. And I'm going to show you the gift here in just a second, but I'll show it to you all in just a minute. But let me keep this conversation going with Travis. So what is it in particular? Do you have some favorite auditors that you enjoy?
I like Dave, as far as out of Texas. I like Patrick. I like you. I've actually seen some of your audits. Let's see what else. I mean, there's just so many audits, people that do audits in different states, and obviously understanding the laws that are different in different states and with regards to required ID and not required ID. Those are important. I live in California or California. So, I mean, this state is, I'll leave it at that. I'm planning on moving out of the state soon. But I love the auditing community because it supports our Constitution and our rights as individuals and human beings.
At least in California, you got 148G that protects you somewhat. The problem is, a lot of the auditors there go beyond that.
That's not something I'd ever do. I've represented soldiers. I've represented technicians. I've stand on the front lines and pushing back a lot on a legal standpoint from that perspective. And you're right, California does have some robust laws, but the problem with California is that the moment you blink, you're taxed. I mean, that's the problem.
Have you watched any Susan Bassey?
Sorry, Sasquatch. Can you say that again?
Susan Bassey. Have you watched any of her stuff?
Oh, yes, I have. I have. I've seen Susan Bassey, and she is awesome. I just like how she likes to go for the records. Is that the person I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I love how she'll just sit there and push for the records checks, and doesn't allow them to push back other than to cite what the law is and all that. I really love it. I love it.
What do you think about, and I know you're in California, so it's a little bit different for you guys. You have a little bit more leeway in this, but what do you think about people's rights to stand inside of a public building and not be trespassed?
I think it's absolute. Meaning basically that if it's unless you break a law, and again, I've seen so many of these scenarios break up where, like the post office is a perfect example. When you get a person going into the post office, that's federal property. And you get the city police coming in telling you, "Oh, well, we run this whole area." Well, no, you need the postal inspectors to enforce federal regulations if there is going to be any enforcement. Um, it's one of those where I don't know. I forgot your question, Teresa, and I apologize. I have PTSD really bad, and I have short-term memory from a lot of TBIs. So I apologize if I get off track, guys.
No, that's no problem. There's some things, and I don't know if you know this about me, but there's some misconceptions that a lot of auditors have, and a lot of misconceptions that a lot of auditors tend to put out there. And like I said, I know you're in California, so you guys have a lot more leeway than in other parts of the country. But, a lot of people have the misconception that you can't be trespassed from public property unless you break a law. And that's not true. There is case law that'll back, me up on that. And I have been through being arrested for, trespassing on public property before. And I have tried to sue before behind all of that. So, I'm pretty familiar with now. It's different in California. There are some differences. So, I'm
Mhm.
not talking about everywhere. This is Louisiana. So, it concerns me a lot of times when people have that misconception that if they're asked to leave, that they don't necessarily have to leave unless they've broken a law.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I travel. I mean, if someone asked me to leave, because I've never done an audit, I've been thinking about doing an audit. I'm 50 years old. I'm not a young kid. But I research law. Anybody that knows me understands that I live by the law, Code of Federal Regulations, as far as CFRs and all that stuff. I understand how all that works by defending soldiers. But that's on a federal level. Where when you start getting to state levels, that's where my weakness is. I'm very good with California because I've lived here for so long. But once you get out to other states, that is where my weakness is. And that whenever I start auditing, because I've got a GoPro, I've got tons of equipment to do this, and I've been wanting to do it. It's just, I know that I'm an aggressive soul, which means that if someone confronts me, I don't go off on them because I'm a jerk. I would go after them, like, if they're violating the law, I would, like, point it out to them and I might sound like a jerk. That's why I'm kinda apprehensive about becoming an auditor is because I know how I argue. Like, I can argue in front of a judge just about anything, which I've done before, and I have no problems calling people out in a courtroom, but you're not the the difference between the courtroom and the civilian side as far as out in the public is so different, meaning how people respond and what people think. I've seen so many videos where people think that they have a right to privacy in public. It doesn't exist. So that is where going to each state, what is their level? That's where I have to look at it. And I plan to come out there and start doing audits as well. It's just I got to get my wife on board with me doing it though.
I suggest that you start out cop watching,
Hmm.
traffic stops, stay in the traditional public forms, i.e., sidewalks,
Roger.
keeping your distance. I mean, there's no 10-foot law, but a reasonable distance. Uh, that way, they're not their attention isn't turned on you because you don't want to become the story. You want to report the story.
Roger.
Is basically my advice.
That is very good advice, Sasquatch.
Yeah, you know, you have you have your most, I guess, power on the public sidewalk. That's where you have your most rights in those public forums, those traditional public forums, sidewalks, the parks, things like that. You know.
Roger. I mean, that I'm definitely aware of. I mean, obviously, it's one of those where you sit back and go, all right, I've always been pardon my language, a shit stir. Not a shit stir in a bad way. It's that I confront leadership. Now, I only made it to the rank of E7, which, there's 9 ranks on the enlisted side on the military. But the one thing that I've always done is I've always conformed over the last 30 years of being a public servant to now wanting to go out and educate people with regards to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, things that we all have and that people have forgotten, even though I was part of the push that went to Iraq when 9/11 happened. I was part of the push that I even gone to other countries and how can I say it, pushed the American agenda. Now that I'm back home, I'm retired. I'm trying to find my how can I say it, find my purpose. I think that is educating people because I was an instructor for years for the military, and I find it very fulfilling being able to educate people. Now you say sidewalks. I see like David Warden, he stays on the sidewalks almost everywhere and easements wherever he goes. And that's how I'd like to do it. Now, what do you guys think of that prospect or me doing it that way?
Oh, I love the idea of you staying on the sidewalk.
That is awesome. It's just that I know myself that if I had an officer come up to me, which I have a lot of good friends that are police officers, good friends on the federal system and on the state and county and local city systems that I'm friends with because we serve together. A lot of them are reserve soldiers, National Guard, whatever, and I served with a lot of them. I'm involved with a lot of nonprofits, like Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Have you guys ever heard of that?
I don't know that I have.
Yeah, it might be a good thing. Just it's a nonprofit. We help out veterans that are homeless and you name it. We have scholarship programs and stuff like that. I love helping people. My biggest thing is the youth today doesn't understand the blood that was shed for them to be able to say what they want to say out on a public sidewalk, do what they want to do on a public sidewalk, as long as they're not hurting somebody and or hurting somebody else. That to me, I just look at them as like being, do your thing, I'll leave you alone. I would love that for people to be able to say that with me with the way they leave me alone, but they love what I do. And that's why I'm saying is like, Teresa, you have your style. Sasquatch, I'm sure you have yours. And NJ Diver, I think you have your own. But I'd like to get a collective feedback from everybody to help me to where when I go into this phase of my life of trying to be an educator in the public to the masses and to the kids and the juniors of our society, to help them understand that our Constitution is not just a piece of paper. It's what we are as a society, as a nation.
Have you ever thought about going back and teaching history?
I love history. I love how you said that. My daughter is actually she's getting ready to go to UOP, University of Pacific, for her history degree and get her master's after that. Thankful to the U.S. military and as far as my service and all that stuff. I would love to be a history teacher. The problem of it is that with my TBIs, I have a learning problem. I don't know how to say this without saying that I'm not as smart as I used to be or sharp as I used to be.
Oh, don't feel bad, dude. It happens when we get old.
Yeah, well, mine is like if I could show you my MRIs of my brain, you'd be like going, "Oh my gosh." People throw like fellow soldiers of mine that I've known for 20, 30 years that when they retired me from the military because I got injured overseas. And I showed them the videos. They're like, oh man, they're like all scared. Dude, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's just I have my short-term memory is really, really bad. And so I have to study things for a long period of time for me to get advice from Teresa, from you, Sasquatch, from Bless Your Heart, or any of you guys out there that are experienced. It takes me a while to grab that, put it into where I'll understand it, and then function correctly out in the public with it to where I don't offend people, but just make it to where they want to come to me to where I can explain to them what I'm doing. So they'll feel like, oh, this is awesome, instead of like, well, this guy's out here to cause a problem.
Well, you see, you got people like Patrick, who you admire, and I'm sorry that you do, but he goes out and he instigates things.
Well, yes, he is an instigator, and I agree with you.
He e-begs all the time, and he spends that money on stuff that it's not intended for.
Oh, that's not good.
So we're not a big fan of Patrick.
Okay, and I apologize. It's only
That's okay.
that's what I saw. I would not do what he does. I'm too old. I would look like a freaking fool, acting like a 15-year-old out there. But I mean, some of the stuff that he's done, I just look at some of the stuff he's done, Dave's done, all these people have done. I mean, if you could put a time on how much time I've been watching this stuff, my wife and my daughter complains to me all the time because I'm in here watching all these audits, because I'm trying to learn the best way to be to where people will be more receptive to me. Not
Just a real quick, shut up, Vital.
yes.
Oh, hang on one second, because I just want to take one moment to say welcome back, bless your heart, to the stream, to the panel, and to say hello to everybody in the stream. I think I saw Beware Mouse in the chat also. So hello, Beware Mouse, and I see A Balance and a lot of other people. Welcome everybody. I don't particularly mean to call anybody out specifically, but just happened to notice all those people here. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the panel and to the chat. Travis, I think you know, I've been around video activism and this kind of auditing stuff for about since about 2012. So what is that? About 7 years or something? It's been
8
a
years.
while. I've
Yeah.
been doing this for a little while. And what I've found, what I've seen in the last 8 years or so is that people have learned a lot about what their rights are as far as video recording and stuff in public places. But I think a lot of these auditor videos confuse people about just how much of a right they have to be holding up a video camera inside of a building where you're not on a public sidewalk, or you're not on the public right of way, or you're not in the park, you're not on a public space, you're inside their building, and that's a different thing. That's not a traditional public forum. While it might be a public place, it's not a traditional public forum, which is what you're looking for whenever you say, I have a right to be here, I have a constitutional right, it's First Amendment right to be able to film in public. Well, you have a First Amendment right to be able to film in a public forum, a traditional public forum.
Mhm.
So it sometimes, and with regards to Patrick, he gives people the misconception that you can go inside of a building and that it's perfectly legal, and if they tell you to stop, you don't have to. And it's kind of a misconception, and he runs off before the police get there, and he hurries up to leave before the police get there to see him inside or whatever, and he avoids a lot of arrests that way. And I think it confuses people, and I see other people who have followed through and said, well, I'm gonna stand my ground and I'm gonna stay here. They can't trespass me from a public building, unless I've committed a crime, which is not true. And they will have to take that arrest, then they have to bail out of jail, then they have to hire an attorney, and then they have to pay attorney fees, and then they end up having to take a plea deal, and it bothers me to see kinds of misconceptions out there, especially because I know there are people like you, Travis, that love watching these videos and that really, really want to be able to know what they're talking about when they have to deal with law, they have to deal with the authorities. know what they're talking about, so that the authorities aren't the ones that always are in charge, or that always seem to know more, or that always have the power. You understand what I'm saying? But it does bother me that there's a lot of misconceptions out there, because I don't like for people to get hemmed up.
Well, of course, yes. I have. That's why my drawbacks from Patrick, with regards to how he does his audits, is that he is an instigator. I'm not that way. I would love to sit back and have a conversation with Joe Public or Joe Police Officer. Being on a public sidewalk puts me on even footing with whoever I'm speaking with, so I don't have to worry about being in trouble. That's why what I've gathered from what I've seen from watching all these audits. And you know, and I think, like you said, Teresa, is that the misconception is that you can't be trespassed. You know, and it's all about your character, who you are, and what you do. And that's one thing I'm a firm believer on. Is that, you know, I always took, you know, the old saying is that when the sorry if I say the wrong words, but it's like the shit deflector. Being that I was a platoon sergeant and whatnot in the Army, is that I took all the shit, and that I refused to do things that the command team, my first sergeant, which him and I were friends for frickin' 20 years, the commander and all that stuff, which I knew for years. But the thing of it is I didn't want my soldiers to feel the negativity that was coming down from the higher command. That's the same principle that I see from here, is that I see what Patrick does versus what Dave does. And not saying that Dave does the perfect job or Patrick does the perfect job. It's just I prefer Dave's approach versus Patrick's approach, because to me, I'd rather engage someone to come to me and feel comfortable coming to me and saying, "Hey, what are you doing this for?" Well, I'm just doing a First Amendment audit. That's all I'm doing. Hey, how you doing today? I'd rather have that conversation than versus a conflict to start out the bat.
Have you checked out Jeff Gray?
Jeff Gray. No, I
He's
have
with
not.
Honor Your Oath. He's out of
Jeff-
Florida.
Jeff Gray.
Not
Sorry.
John-
Honor Your Oath.
not-
Honor
not-
Your Oath is one of the original auditors. He's been doing this like longer than me. So I say 8 years. He's probably been doing it for 9 or 10. But he's very good at he doesn't really do audits. He does what does he call them now? Civil rights investigations. And he does a lot of things like standing on the public sidewalk and going to public meetings and things like that. That's another thing, Travis, is going into public meetings where you do have a right to video record the meeting. You know, that's something that'll throw a lot of littler towns off when someone comes in there with a video camera and they don't understand that you actually, in most states, you actually do have a right to video record it or even live stream the city council meetings or, police jury meetings or county whatever meetings, these public meetings, that you do have a right to video record and stream them. And so that's always a really good audit per se to do, and those are always kind of, if you're into government, that's one of the good places. It's a good place to start knowing what's going on in government, is to go to the meetings, seriously, because that's where you find the nuances and who's making the decisions and who's scratching who's back. You'll find out by going to those meetings, and you can audit them by bringing in that camera. And I tell you what, you can get some good videos from that, because it confuses a lot of them.
Yeah, I bet it does. It's just one of those things where I just sit back and I always look at everything. Money-wise, I'm not worried about money. I have more money than I know what to do with. So it's one of those where if I had to fight a municipality, I'd be fine. But I don't want to cause problems. That's not my whole issue. I just want to go out there and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you agree with it or not? And whether they agree with it or not, I will keep doing it.
Well, if you're having problems with that money, I will be more than happy to help you hold some of that.
That's
okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get you, brother. I
Post
get you,
those
brother.
PayPal links.
Hey, wait. I'm waiting for the thread, the live comments to start showing the PayPal links on
No,
here.
I'm not e-begging.
Oh,
I'm just offering my services to help you hold some of that money. Okay.
People always say I'm not e-begging before they e-beg.
yeah, that's why I was going. I just don't want to be too forward.
Look, I'm not asking for any money, but
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis, if I may ask, you were earlier mentioning case law and, of course, the just the basic Constitution. Are you familiar with Adderley versus I can't remember the other one, and U.S. versus Grace?
No. If I had to, this is where my expertise comes in. Being that I worked in the government, I represented soldiers on a regular basis, that I knew the USC codes and CFRs and all that stuff like no tomorrow. You get into specific cases like this. I'm kind of new to this community, and I'm looking at it from an outside perspective, just trying to go, okay, this is what I want to do because I'm retired. I have more money coming in than I know what to do with, and I make more on retirement than I do when I was an active duty E7, which is horrible, but nonetheless, I'm looking at this from a standpoint of trying to figure out. Now I just lost my damn. I hate this freaking TBI stuff. Oh, my brain, it just went 100% blank. I apologize, folks. I apologize 100%.
Travis, everybody's asking, do you know about News Now Houston's past?
Yes, I do know about his past and what I heard about it. But again, it's like with anybody. If someone looked at me and the way I look at this, back in 1989, 1990, I got in a situation where I got in trouble, right? Well, what happened was is I dealt with it. I dealt with it head on. Then I went into the military and I did the military going forward. 30 something plus years later, I didn't repeat the offense. And I didn't, in other words, should I be judged by that offense? It's basically an assault charge from back in right out of high school. So, so do I deserve to carry that with me for the rest of my life? Or if I kept going out and getting in fights, I would never have climbed the NCO chain like I did. I would have never have amassed what I've amassed so far if I was a bad person. Not saying that all people are bad that don't have a lot of wealth, but I'm just saying that I've lived a very straight and forward life after that bad incident that I said, hey. So with Dave, I look at him being, okay, that's the only one thing I know about. Okay, going forward, when was the last time something like that happened with him? That I don't know.
Okay, assault has a victim, and usually you get over assault pretty quick because it's just a fight. But rape has a victim also, and how long does it take a rape victim to get over it?
Never.
Exactly. So when you've done your time, and because you've done the crime, done your time, does that mean that we should all forgive and forget? Because the victim doesn't.
No, the victim themselves, but us as a society have said, this is your punishment. If you've done this, you've done your punishment. The victim, unfortunately, in situations like that, in my opinion, is like, God, what can we do to help them out? What can we make them go forward? Us as a society, what can we do for them? But with like rape, if you're charged with rape and the sentence is 10 years, you're done and 10 years is done, and then you're out of jail, that doesn't mean you're scot-free. You're still labeled, and they have to register as a sex offender. You're still labeled as that for years. And for me, the way I look at it is like, okay, you served your time, you've done what you've done. If you do it again going forward, well, that's when I'm going to start judging you a lot harder, because there's some time and distance, in my opinion. I don't know Dave. What is his last name? Warden? I think it's Warden. Am I correct? Hopefully, I'm correct. David Warden.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, he. From what I know, that doesn't mean that I know about other instances that took place. But all I know is about the one instance. The victim themselves. My sister was one of those victims. And that's why I understand wholeheartedly that you never get over it. You can't go past it. You're harmed for the rest of your life. But us as sorry.
Yeah, are you aware that he's facing new charges?
From what I remember hearing online, what I seen, and again, I'm out here in California. I only see what I see on video. He was out there banging a garbage can, or somebody was banging a garbage can, and they hauled him out to jail, and he was arrested on charges for some type of acts towards young children or a younger person.
Nope.
Am I incorrect?
Nope, that's not what he's
Allow
facing
me.
right now.
Allow me.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's been indicted and he's currently on trial for the continued sexual molestation of his daughter.
Oh my God.
I thought it was daughters.
Well, there's one complainant on this charge, but there are other witnesses, I believe.
Dang. Damn.
And he has more than just the rape charge as far as felony goes.
Wow. I apologize for bringing the names up, guys. That's not my intention. My intention is only to get involved in this
Travis,
stuff.
I appreciate you coming on here, and I appreciate, I like to hear from people that are interested in watching these videos because, like I said, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and that's something that, I do my best to try to clear up. Before you get too involved in, auditing and this kind of movement community, there's a lot of background on a lot of these people, and some of it you probably find very enlightening and very interesting. Earl David Warden is one of them.
Well,
Travis, we all started where you started, and we have to look into some of these people, unfortunately, and it has not been looking good lately.
Roger. And that's why I'm saying is that I like how Dave does his odds where he stands out on the corner. That's it. I don't know him as a human being. Just like Patrick, I don't know him as a human being. All I know is what videos I've seen, and I don't like how Patrick does things, but I like how Dave is standoffish. His background, I'm like ignorant of. And
one of the things I can direct you to, if I will, can you see the private chat in this StreamOut's page?
Private chat off to the right hand side. I see 9. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you scroll down to the top, you'll notice a URL for FAAN Club.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Okay, I see. Okay.
All right. Knock off the forum part. Just go to the fan club. You will be educated.
Okay. Let me go here now. That's what I'm doing.
I mean, everybody's background is relevant, and we all should know it.
Roger.
I just background there.
You're going to find that most everyone that's really deeply involved in this have their own incident or their own issue, something that angers them about the government or the police or what have you. There's going to be something, and you want to find what their motivation is, because it can be. It can leave you with a lot of egg on your face if you get involved with people who are motivated by the wrong things.
Roger. Yeah, none of this for me, this has nothing to do with money. It has to do with what I swore to protect and defend and done so since 1989 all the way till 2018 December when I got forced retired out of the military. My whole point is really about the First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, 14th Amendment, you name it, those critical ones. And all the other ones are critical too, don't get me wrong. It's just looking at these folks, I'm looking at their style on how they do things. And now that I'm looking at this fan club page, wow. Wow.
Well, there's those in this community that would use you and your outlook on things to hide themselves so they could make money off of you.
It opens your eyes, doesn't it?
And throw you under the bus.
Well, that's fine. I mean, again, like I said, I'm looking at this not as a monetary reason, strictly
Well,
education.
no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they would use you just to throw you under the bus. I mean, they would.
This
Really.
community is not what it used to be at all. It used to be full of activists that actually cared about what was going on. Now it's about clicks and views and money, and that is what's tearing this community apart. We've all been a part of this community. We all love
What
this community. And
can
then all this stuff started
can
happening.
you tell me when this community originated, where that was, and you can do all of that?
I mean, I would say Jeff Gray 10 years ago. I mean, there was a community that it helped and it did do differences in the community, but now it's not. Now they're making laws against us instead of for us.
Wow.
Hmm.
No, it's a gut wrenching thing when you see, like, I'm looking at this fan club page right now, and I appreciate. Was it Sasquatch? Were you the one that threw that up there?
No, that was NJ Diver.
Yeah, NJ Diver. Sorry. Yeah, this is interesting. It's like some of those things where what is a standard run of the mill where you're an auditor and you're out videographing or whatever, and you get charged with whatever frickin' charge. And I'm seeing some of those on here, but wow is all I can say. None of this is me. None of this
If you
is
really
me at
want
all.
to get down to it, with what Mouse just posted up there, this whole idea of video and doing what some of these people do started with Rodney King.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it started with Rodney King, but it took off after the Kelly Thomas incident, and I had taken that whole beating, and the previous channel I had before this one, it got shut down for copyright, but it was pretty big. Needless to say, I had that whole video up there, and it got taken down with the old channel. So no, this John Gray, he wasn't nobody. I didn't know of a John Gray. He was a nobody back then. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
I don't
John
know
Gray
who you're
and
talking
Jeff,
about.
John Gray and Jeff Gray are two different people.
Yeah, John Gray.
Well, neither one of them were anybody back then. Dave can testify. I've been around fucking a long ass time.
I bet Dave knows Jeff Gray. Honor your oath.
Can you guys pardon me for a second? I gotta use the restroom.
Nah, they were small fry. I don't know. You guys are a small fry in a big lake. What can I say? I don't.
Well, thank you. Thank you, DDT. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry.
That was before all the clicks and views, Teresa. Sorry.
Yeah, well.
Well.
Yes. How long has Pennac been around, Teresa?
It has been around for probably 11 or 12 years now.
Slightly longer than 90% of who is out there right now.
That's because they're not for the clicks and views, and the clicks and views are getting all the subscribers now. Before that, they didn't get them, and that's when it was real activism.
Well, unfortunately, what this community has turned into is entertainment. And people don't mind paying a little for entertainment. And I have the funny feeling, and this is my personal opinion, that the reason these e-beggars get their money is people want to see them get arrested.
That I don't understand.
Well, I'm a cheapskate, Dan, because I want to see him get arrested, but I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah, but you'll watch, so yeah, you're paying for it, kind of.
Well, I'll wait till the news breaks that they're getting arrested, and then I'll.
Well, I told that 10th man. I said, he was crying, whining and crying, and I said, "What? Why did you join a fucking trolling community?" you know, because that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lately,
Travis,
you're
that's
right. It
another
has
thing.
been.
Yeah, you have to have some thick skin to be in this community and to be an activist in general because you got to take it from the trolls. You're going to take it from the trolls, and then you're not just going to take it from the trolls. You're going to take it from the government. They're going to troll you too, and the government's a lot more powerful than just regular people. On the internet.
Roger. And that's part of what I shouldn't say. I was an electronics platoon sergeant, not saying that I have any sway or any effect on what the government has done in any way, shape, or form with what auditing has been done. It's just, wow. I mean, looking at these folks here on the fan club, it's really given me a different taste as far as in my head of these people. Not saying that I would not go out and audit, because to me, the biggest thing I can give in older age and being retired is knowledge to these kids, to these
We
people
are all
around.
fans of the auditing, like the ideology of auditing. We all are all fans of that. But what it's turned into is something totally not what it should have.
So do you think the government's involved in that? Meaning, as far as, don't get me wrong, I'm a conspirator at heart. Even though I worked for the government for over 30 years, but I look at it from the perspective of, this is, to me, that if I interject in a conversation something that's small and minute and that can disrupt whatever that conversation was really coming from, is that what the government's doing with the auditing community right now? Because they don't like you guys. They don't want people protecting the first, second, fourth, fifth, 14th. They don't want people out there saying, hey, you need to stand up for this.
The government's not making people scam people. The government's not making people act like they act when they're out there.
Yeah.
Yes, the government's part of it and acting sleazy, of course. I mean, we're all against government corruption.
Roger.
Of course we are. But when you go to auditing, it's not what it used to be. It's not an activism anymore. Now it's a clicks and view, and now it's a moneymaker. And that's what it's turned into, and that's messed up.
I'm going to make room for somebody that wants to pop in, so I'll be watching.
Hey,
Gosh, it was wonderful having you on the show.
All righty.
Thank you, Sasquatch. I appreciate your guidance and advice.
Have a good one.
You too.
I'm not popping down. This is my first panel, and I'm not leaving. So screw you guys. Just saying.
I love it.
Hey, Travis, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Travis, this is Odinn. Odinn, this is Travis.
How many motherfuckers go out there and videotape and take pictures every motherfucking day of the Lincoln Memorial, the White House, this and that, and not get arrested? But all these auditors are getting arrested. What the hell's the difference?
My kid's a photographer. He's never gotten even, they've never even walked up to him.
Well, I seen a unique video, and if you notice that I never made a comment about the guy. I can't remember his name. Hemming Law Firm is who he belongs to, or whatever.
Felipe?
What's that?
Felipe Hemming?
Yeah, or whatever his name, Hemming. There's this one guy that goes around and does audit. I mean, I always loved watching the guy. Gosh, what's his name? Oh, you guys are putting me on the spot. My whole brain.
Are you talking about his name?
Mexican Padilla.
Felipe Hernandez.
Yes.
Mexican Padilla.
Yeah, where he got arrested in front of that.
That's not Felipe Hernandez. That's Padilla.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I hate to say it, but I mean, I remember watching somebody else doing an audit with him, and they showed the video beforehand. He said, "Watch me go and incite anger with these guys." Did that, and then they had a bad confrontation. I'm like, that is bad. That's not how you do this shit.
That's what they all do, but unfortunately, they edit that stuff until you see just the confrontation. Mexican Padilla is the only truthful one out there that shows it beforehand.
Yeah, no, it's not Mexican Padilla. I can't remember his name. He does a lot of construction work, laying floors. High Desert Community Watch. That's what it is.
Oh, the cop collar, you mean?
Is a cop caller?
Yep.
Yeah, he likes to call the cops and then other people, so the cops come out and confront him. Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah. I seen a video where he did that, and then I was totally turned off by it. I was totally turned off.
You want to watch good actual auditors? There's Southside Slacker, great human being.
Southside Slacker.
Nasty Nathaniel.
Southside's such a good guy.
Laura Shark.
Laura Shark's good.
Oh yeah, Laura's really, really.
And she's
the one
sexy.
that has the night vision camera.
Yeah, she is really good. I don't know why she doesn't have even more views, but she is good.
Okay, so I'm just writing these names down so that way I have other people to go to look at, because I stopped watching High Desert Community Watch, whether you guys like him or not. Just for me, he just didn't sit well with me. Once I saw that video of him inciting and getting people riled up,
He calls the cops to make sure they come. I mean, that's not what it's all about.
Yeah, no.
There's Chi-Town Citizen, Chi-Town Sue.
Love us some Susu.
No, fuck all the auditors.
She's crazy.
Sounds like somebody's drunk.
DVT,
fuck
be
them all.
quiet. No, not fuck
What a
them
waste
all.
of time. That is a waste of time.
Oh,
So you think Jeff Gray is a waste of time?
All right, let me interject.
Yeah.
here.
Men in Black, he's a good dude. Good guy.
Yeah, he is. There are 12 circuit courts of appeals in this country that are just below the Supreme Court.
Roger.
Of those 12, 6 have had cases before them where they have eventually found for the videographer. It's strange that it's all the odd numbered, but that's just the way it works. There have been at least one definite incident of a activist that is in this community. He's not active much anymore, but in the Fifth Circuit, he did succeed in getting it recognized as a right.
Philip Turner.
Yeah, I was gonna say Batatusi. Yeah, I watch his videos all the time. I love his style.
There's a difference between auditors and activists, by the way.
A right to film in a traditional public forum.
Correct.
So bless your heart. What do you mean by activists versus? I mean, whatever you said. Sorry, my short-term memory is like kicking my butt.
You know,
There's
Travis,
a difference between activists and auditors, because auditors are there for every time you watch an auditor video, they're asking for money. Please, my PayPal, blah, 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 blah. There's other people that are actually activists that don't ask that. They just put their videos up and they show you what's happening, and it's a big difference.
Oh, yes. I agree with you.
The ones that video and present and do not become the star of the video, those are the important ones.
Roger.
Activists plan actions that know are going to get results. They don't just go there and just stir up a bunch of shit, see what happens. You know, they're doing a lot of what's going on right now is about making money off of donations and off of clicks and views. And they don't all make money off of it, but
they stir the stuff before they turn on the video too, and that's not what they're showing. They stir it.
There is a
before
lot
they
of
start.
editing. That's right. There's a lot of editing, and you know, a lot of even News Now Houston and News Now Patrick are both in a defamation lawsuit right now. That you know, from a video that they made and clipped up and made look different than what it was. So. You know, and I've actually faced I sued for defamation. I don't know if you knew that, for doing this. So you got a lot of things to think about, you know, when it comes to putting this stuff out there.
Well, the biggest thing of it is that me as an individual, my intention going into this as an auditor is to bring information and knowledge, not confront brothers and sisters that are in blue or whatever color or whatever they frickin' flag they're under. I just know that as Americans, that we all enjoy the same freedoms, and we need to have respect for each other. That's where I'm stuck at. Is for me, like my brother's in blue, because I was a brother in green for 20 something plus years. You sit back and I look at the auditors and go, okay, how is the best way to be respectful to these guys, but not give in to them?
We all believe in the concept of what's going on, but the way that they're carrying it is something totally different. And the way they're carrying it
maybe
is
not
not what.
stick a goddamn camera in their face.
Yeah,
Maybe?
exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Walk up to them and go, my name is Jim. Nice to meet you. I live down on 306 Main Street. I know.
Why are they hiding?
Yeah, that's one thing I never understood. I wouldn't really give a damn
who's
if
hiding.
someone ran my record.
You think all those little
DDT.
cops in those small towns are hiding? Come on.
No, I'm talking about the auditors. They're like, I'm not
listening.
giving you my name. I'm not going to tell you anything. They
Uh,
already know who you are.
No, you're talking about auditors, not just random cops that run small ass towns.
No matter how small the town, they have the technology one way or another, either through a dash
Yeah, if
cam
they
or a body
want,
cam.
if they
Excuse me.
want to,
Either
if they
through a
want
dash
to,
cam or a body
if they
cam,
want to.
and they can
What-
identify you through facial recognition.
Facial
They already know
recognition.
them all.
What kind of fucking Twilight Zone are you living in, dude?
They have it.
Yeah,
Fucking Terminator.
they have had
Really?
it
You don't
for
think there's
years.
facial recognition?
How
They
many?
have
You
it.
guys are going a little fucking out of bounds.
No, I'm not.
They have the license
Yeah, you are.
readers out on the top of the vehicles
Yeah,
nowadays.
yes, you are. I'm going to
Alright,
say
can I
you're going
explain
out of bounds.
Can
I can
explain
say
myself?
that. I can say that. I'm allowed to say that.
Hey,
Am I
do I-
right?
Let him,
Teresa?
let him
I have a
explain.
word
You're
in.
going
Let him
out of
explain.
bounds.
Let him explain out of bounds.
Fucking
of bounds is
facial
like
recognition
Foursquare.
is out of
Come on,
bounds.
it's out there.
Shut up.
All right.
2-5.
How
It
many
is out
states?
there.
How many states in this country do not have your picture on a driver's license?
Quiet.
Crickets.
None.
What does that have anything to do with it? No, they take the picture, they fucking send it to your house on a card. Dude.
That means they know who you are.
Not only that,
Okay.
but
Is this
how
a subsit?
God,
Teresa, I didn't know this was a subsit meeting. I'm gonna bounce. Okay.
No, don't.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bounce.
Don't
I didn't know this
disagree,
was a
DDT.
subsit meeting.
Hang on. We're
Look,
fixing
you
to
guys-
talk
far from a
Okay.
substance you
2-5.
can get, my friend.
Hey, DDT.
Okay, have fun with your subsit meeting. Okay.
Hey,
Later,
DDT.
DDT.
Okay, bye.
DDT.
Okay. Good luck.
DDT.
Good luck in life with
Hey,
subsit
DDT.
shit. Okay.
Bye.
Good luck. Bye bye. Okay,
Bye.
DDT. Oh, come on. I had the nickname of DDT in high school.
Well, what I was trying to explain, if he would have let me, is the
Yes, sir.
fact that not only are they taking your picture, but those of us that wear glasses are not allowed to wear them when they take the picture.
Exactly.
And that is for facial recognition. Everyone that has a driver's license in this United States has their picture on record for facial recognition.
you wear my
Of course
glasses.
it is.
It wants it.
I wear my glasses. What you talking about, Wallace?
Yeah, they let me wear mine in my picture, but I don't think they use facial recognition here in Louisiana, and I'm sure that maybe they have it in places, and I understand that, there's a lot of casinos that use facial recognition software, and they have been for
The
some
private
time.
industry's been using it for probably 8-9
I'm
years.
sure,
Yep.
but I don't know that it's readily
Well,
used out there
it
by a
is-
lot of
It
smaller.
is so
20
rare
years.
that there is a state out on the West Coast that just passed a law, I think it was earlier last week, to regulate it.
I think Georgia was talking about trying to do that.
I mean, I can reverse look up anybody's picture. I can pull it off of Facebook and reverse look it up and get all kinds of stuff.
No, that kind of technology has been around for over 20 something plus years. I can tell you that. Some of the equipment I've worked on was, never mind. I'll shut up.
No vitals, DDT. Sorry.
Well, no, on DDT. Sorry, I wanted to tell him because I had a nickname. I'm sorry, Teresa, and bless your heart, any of the ladies that are around. So I apologize. It was Drippy D Travis.
Drippy Dick
Because
Travis.
yes.
Oh wait, first off, how the hell is Teresa a stalker? First off, nobody fucking, she doesn't even talk to anybody. People come to her. So how the fuck is Teresa a stalker? Because that's gonna fucking piss me off.
I didn't say that.
No, that's somebody that just ignore them. That's just some retard in the stream.
Oh, okay. I was like going, wait a second. I didn't say nothing like that. Come on.
Not you, baby. Sorry.
Of a frauditor. Good evening, Don.
Good evening, Don.
Good evening, NJ. You need to cite your source. I want to see it.
I love me some Don.
More. Let's hear some more about this. Where you're getting all this facial recognition information. Like I said, I've seen like some news programs where they talk about how they've used it in some airports, maybe in other countries, and I know that they've used it in casinos before. I know that firsthand. But I don't know that they're out there using it like in Louisiana. I could wear my glasses to take my picture and stuff. I don't know that they're doing that.
It's Big Brother that's doing it.
I can tell you that in Iraq, when I was doing, how can I say it, force protection, entry checkpoint checks and all that stuff, we had all the software, had all the Ugandans were running the inside of the actual checkpoints. The U.S. Army, we were the muscle. We're the ones that say, hey, if he says, no, you can't go in, you're not going in. And they used a device where they'd stick it right up to the person's face in Iraq. And this was 07, 08. And they stuck it up to their face, and it would tell them whether or not they were allowed onto the fob or not. Because we had a lot of local nationals that come in, clean up the base, do a lot of, what do you call it, freaking remedial work. And so I remember this one time, this guy comes up, and they basically scanned his face, and it said, you're not allowed on here. He got upset. I went over to him, and Jack chucked him up against the building and said, you don't get out of here, I'm going to freaking put a bullet in your head. So that software has been, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but that software has been out there since 2008, 2007. And before that time frame, as far as facial recognition.
It's been in development since the turn of the century.
Yeah, we were actively using it overseas, and that's even in Poland. My last duty station when I was out in Poland, we were using out there for confirming people coming on to our base.
Yeah, real quick, Don, did you see what I posted? I posted the chapter law, and also the URL to find it.
Where'd you post it?
In the YouTube chat.
You're fine.
Okay, I'll find it, or I'll get it from you tomorrow. I want to read about that because that technology is, I mean, it's gotten better, but it's so undependable. I can't imagine them using it state to state. If you have direct access to the server and machine learning, it's something that's really difficult to synchronize. So it has to be at one location running on one machine. It's a good system, but it's not a really good system. And then from what I've read is like what Teresa was talking about, that casinos get the best use out of it, but come on, let's face it, the casinos have a lot of the best surveillance there is.
Yeah, I just posted it in the PK in Discord.
All right, good deal. Thanks, sir.
Speaking of which, Travis, are you familiar with the application Discord?
I've heard of Discord. I've never been on it. I know I'm like the virgin candidate out here, but no, I've heard of Discord, never been on it.
It originally came out as a gaming application to aid gamers who are online to communicate with one another. It's voice, group voice, group chat, and also one-on-one video.
Oh, okay.
Open to more than just gamers. And there's a small community of people with many different servers, many different kinds of servers for this community as well. And you can find just about anything you want there.
That is awesome. No, I've heard of it. And again, like I said, I'm recently retired, doing a lot of honeydews at home, and us being quarantined right now, I'm going out of my freaking mind. So I'm having to find a lot of hobbies. Sorry, guys. Discord. Okay, I wrote that down.
If you had a mod in here, it could put a link in for you so they can show you.
Travis, I'll tell you, I was in your shoe. Well, I'm sorry, Odin. Were you finished?
I'll work.
No, I was still talking. If Teresa had a real mod in her YouTube channel, they'd put the Discord link in there for you, Travis. You click on it, and you can go right into Teresa's Discord.
Yeah, but I have it. I pulled it up so that you could kind of see. Oh, I have 2 bless your hearts. That's weird.
Hint. I could be. Drop a
let me-
link. Sorry, Teresa.
I can drop a link for them, but I was just going to kind of go over it while y'all are talking so you can see what Discord is. Y'all keep talking amongst yourself because I have to unmute. Well, I guess I can just leave my mic unmuted. But you see, Travis, you got your text chat here, where you can just text. People kind of text each other back and forth.
Roger, yeah. Oh, wow.
This is a new server, so there's a lot of, this is all new members that are joining. And then you can post pictures, like you can post GIFs, the pictures that move. Let me check on Bless Your Heart. She's trying to get on the panel. I'm going to take.
Oh yeah, Johnny 50 is another one that I watch. Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
You make up your own mind, but you'll probably find him on Fan Club. I put in the private chat here on this StreamYards, I put a server that it'll introduce you to both sides, the bad and the good of Discord. The voice can get bad, so can the chat. But the one good thing about that server is it's got a lot of my work in it, all kinds of documents and sources for more documents, both governmental and opinion.
Okay.
So you can post all kinds of stuff. We post, and then you can post files and things like that too, which is another good thing about it. And then they have the voice chat so that you can go inside of the voice chat and you can talk to each other, which is also nice. But I have a huge collection here.
Wow.
Of COVID memes.
I like the toilet paper ones. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's me before I had my teeth fixed. Oh.
Yeah, Teresa, just show them crud real quickly.
I am not in crud. I'm sorry. I'm not in that server. I made some funny photoshops here the other day. Anyway, I'm gonna put the link to this Discord in the description also. I don't know if I got it yet. Let's see. I'll grab one.
Teresa, you got to fire your mods. You're being lazy again.
What you mean?
Yeah, I think Miss Joe went to sleep, I think.
I could
What's
be
there to
your
do?
mod.
Okay, I just created an account with Discord and logged in. So.
Okay, look, I'm gonna put an invite in the private chat back here. Can you get to the private chat?
Yes. Ooh, yeah, the gentleman, NJ Driver, whoever that is awesome. Oh, hey, sorry.
Once you get in that server, NJ can send you an invite to all kinds of servers. So there's lots of servers for lots of different people. He's in the Civil Rights Unite Discord, which we call CRUD, or a lot of, I don't know, they call it all kinds of stuff, but I call it CRUD. And they have a lot of people in there you might enjoy.
It's a dating Discord too.
Yeah, right. Lately, it's been raided by true sob sits and anarchists.
Why are you picking on Horace, Bowley?
Oh, you hang out there all the time too, Odin.
I do time to time.
Okay.
Yeah, it can get rather boisterous in the voice chat.
I mean, so I'm told anyway. I don't personally go over there.
Don lives over there.
I got a sock that goes over there, but I don't live over there.
You do too.
No, I don't.
You feel at home when you're over there.
Yeah, my fun is I got crud in one ear and another one in the other.
So, Travis, I would just caution you, because I was in your shoes a couple of years ago. I'd started watching. I go back as far as J.C. Playford in San Diego now, and that's old school. For me, that's the beginning. And Man in Black was a little bit around a little bit. The other fellow, the photographer at the airport, and I can't think of his name, was another one that kind of got this started. And then I started catching on to Earl and some of the other ones, and there's a lot of them. There's News Now Texas, News Now Dallas, a lot of them that aren't even around anymore because the problem just isn't out there. And it sounds like you're trying to collect information that, hey, I want to see what they're doing and what they're doing wrong and do it right. And then I got hooked up with Merb on Merb's Discord, and Merb makes a lot of good videos explaining the law. He's not a nice guy to talk to, but you'll understand the law. And I got backed into this corner where there's really too much shit to learn. There's too much to know about. There's really not a problem, and it's not worth it. I don't care how old you are or how much money you have, just a freaking hassle. I mean, you might beat the rap, but you're still going to take the ride, and it's not worth it to you and your family. Right. So I kind of changed directions and started learning about the law as much as I could, and I read constantly and understanding what's going on. And if you don't know about Adderley v. Florida is the one case, or U.S. v. Grace, U.S. v. Coquinda, Pruneyard versus California, there's a lot of law that you need to understand before you step out there. The safest place is going to be on the sidewalk, but don't take these jackasses' words for it, because 90% of what they give is bad information. And don't get yourself hemmed up like that. And I troll to keep folks from getting hemmed up.
Roger, and that's what I don't want to do. Is I don't want to be one of those, like, again, you guys know more than I know. But what it comes down to is, if I go into a place, let's say a post office, and they say leave, the first thing I'm going to do is leave, go out to the sidewalk and say, okay, well, they can't tell me to leave from here. That's what I've gathered from watching Patrick, Dave, all these other different auditors, is like, all right, for me, my whole point is I don't want to have a rap. In other words, what I mean by rap is as far as going out, getting hemmed up on a trespassing charge when there's really no need for it, even though I could beat it in court. What's the point in doing that? My whole point is I don't want to upset people. I want them to get engaged, is really more so what I want to do.
And when I heard you talking earlier, one thing that we say a lot is words matter. And you threw around sidewalk and easement. Well, can you define what an easement is? And is it legal to film from an easement? These are things you have to know. And if you don't know what an easement is, and you don't know it's legal to film from one, but you need to take a couple of steps back and understand, where the line is, what you can do and where you can do it.
Roger. And that's why I was saying that different states have different laws. California out here, California, I should say, I myself know that I have a lot of leeway. But if I go to like Texas, Tennessee, another state, and I do an audit, I don't want to be hemmed up and I see some of these guys are really careful. But what I've learned is that a lot of them go, well, I'm going to go to the sidewalk. They can't touch me here. That is where my brain is at. My point is I just want to be able to say, hey, folks, you have a right to video. You have a right to talk with people. You have a right to say what you want.
And, NJ's full of shit a lot of times, and I'll say that. And we've butted heads, and he's good sometimes, and I'll say that too. But one of the things that NJ said way back when I met him in the beginning that he hadn't been saying lately that I'd like to hear him say, especially to a new person like you, is you need to know your state constitution, because a lot of times your state constitution protects you better than anything else. So you need to know that information. And NJ, I wish he would preach it more.
Roger. No, I agree with you, because and this is one thing I'm very good with, is that your states all have their own constitutions with regards to, and also your federal constitution, which obviously federal reigns supreme over state, but you've got to get into those nuances like ordinances when you start getting into towns that, like, if I want to say the word, pardon me guys, if I want to say the word fuck, but yet they want to arrest me for it because it's an ordinance in the town, I'm going to be, if I fight against that, I'm going to know for certain 100% that I'll win it on the end. But going up and being aggressive to people, that's just not the way I am.
Yeah, Don, if you'll look both in CRUD and in Fan Club, I've included all the states' constitutions and the territories when I could find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to know, like, I'm in Georgia. And what is our state law? Well, our state law says you can't cuss in front of a child younger than 14 years old, or it's disorderly conduct. But I know that. Has it held up in court? Absolutely it has. So, reading those things, understanding them, and like I said, NJ back in the beginning, he said you got to know your state constitution. And I think that's a pretty important piece of information, and it's a good place to start before you start throwing out, all these cases that you're going to hear people talk about, and they're going to defend it with this case, or they're going to defend it with that one. And there again, 90% of what they're talking about, they don't know. It doesn't apply to where they are. So, know your shit so you don't get jacked up.
Well, I don't like the Bain Act. The Bain Act's only in California, and everybody's pulling out the Bain Act all across the country, and it doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Poster 7. 148G.
Well, 148G is the California one, but not Poster 7, which is the post office one.
And then there's the DHS memo.
Yeah, all those I've heard. It's like you sit back on, okay, well, if DHS says, yeah, you could do this, but they're telling you to leave. Now, me, just being a polite human being, I would leave and go out to the public sidewalk.
Yeah, but Poster 7 tells you that you can't be there unless authorized. They just don't read that part.
Yeah.
And you've got there again, like the public sidewalk. Is that really a safe space? Well, in Los Angeles County, you can't be on a public sidewalk outside of a school. So there's more criteria than that. So that's why I said know your shit, because sidewalk isn't always necessarily a safe place.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with you. Just like me living where I live, I have a crap load of guns. I don't know where you guys all stand on the Second Amendment, but I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. But I have a crap load of guns. But in California, you can't have guns or all that stuff. How can I say it? Within a certain distance of a school. We have a school that I could walk to in 2 minutes from my house, but the school was built after my house and after I lived here. And so I agree with you. I'd have to know. And that's where my shaky portion comes from, is that everything is so, how can I say it? It's not consistent. Under the federal system, under OPM regulations and rules that I'm used to working under, those are absolute. So if like an FBI agent gets this type of a discipline over here, and a federal technician over here in California, let's say in New York, gets this discipline for missing a day of work, you can't give more of a discipline to somebody in California that's a federal technician. Federal law, I mean, under the federal system, you have to equally punish everybody the same way. Whereas like when you go out into the public, like you were saying on the sidewalk, can you carry a gun out, a freedom to carry a weapon? Can you carry a weapon outside of a school in Texas? I don't know. And
I don't either, but Josh didn't lose his wallet, FYI.
Oh, and that's where my point is. And I agree with what's being said with regards to, you got to know everything about with what's going on around you before you start going out there and doing this. I'm very cautious because I don't want to have a criminal record.
Well, I
It's
kind of take there again, like I said, words matter. But earlier you said too that you mentioned the first, second, fourth, fifth, I think 12th Amendment. I can't remember what
14th.
was on your
14th.
list. 14th. Okay, you said the important ones. No, they're number one. They're all important.
Yes.
But then you got to remember the 10th Amendment also. Do you know what the 10th Amendment is?
To be honest with you, I don't have my pocketbook Constitution on me that I carry with me just about every day.
Well, there you go. That's states' rights. What's not the federal is decided by the states.
Yep.
And like you were just describing, know what trickles down and what has the ability to trickle down. So that's why I said I got fascinated on I got distracted from auditing and got fascinated on this side of it. And then, being able to evaluate situations, or, in Discord, we discuss the situations sometimes live or after the fact, and we really, really break them down and find the violations. So,
and we bring documentation.
Right. And we document it. Like, I think the first thing I said when I came on tonight was like, NJ, I'd like to see your source, or, cite it. And we call each other on that, and then just keep a really high standard so that we know we're dealing with good information. But yeah, study your shit and know it before you decide to do this. Don't cause problems for, your wife and your daughter and the rest of your family that you've talked about. It's just not cool.
Roger. Yeah, no, and I'm if that's one thing I've done throughout my life is made sure my family was secure and all that stuff, both financially, emotionally, as best I could when I've been gone overseas all the frickin' time and not at home. Matter of fact, my wife and I've been married 30 years, and I've probably been home for about 15 years of it. So I understand now, being retired and lazy, that I got to go into this with the right mindset, and not, because my whole goal is not to piss people off. Mine is just strictly, hey, do you know you have a right to do this? That's really where I'm at. I don't want, can I have a confrontation with a police officer or anybody? Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows that I can argue and push cases pretty hard. However, my goal is not to be like somebody, I don't know who it was, said be the star. That's not what I want to be. I just want to be able to say, hey, do you know you have a right to do this? That's all I want to do.
I just want to say, Uprising, I love you very much. That's it. Bye.
And the worst thing is with this pandemic, a lot of it's gone out the window.
But like you mentioned, arguing with a cop or whatever, I mean, is that really the best thing to do? Because we have what we call shut the fuck up Fridays, and you should, if you are absolutely in the right, the last thing you should do is argue. These auditors that try to hold court on the sidewalk, while they're going in cuffs is a bunch of shit. You shut your damn mouth and you protect your case, because if you've done everything right and you've got a case, don't fuck it up. You don't talk to cops, and cops will tell you don't talk to cops.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a given. It's the same advice I gave to all the people I represented, is that you never state things that you don't know absolutely 100% about. Because obviously what we did, I did a lot of defending people in administrative hearings, not court of law where you go to jail. Administrative is more obviously administrative hearings. And most of those were like, if I sat and talked with somebody and they said, hey, I'm going to be lying about X, Y, and Z, I'd look at them and say, go kiss your ass. I'm not going to represent you. My
cops don't even talk to cops.
No, they don't. I watched a video the other day where a cop got arrested for him beating his wife on duty. And so cops are human beings just like us. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I respect all you guys because you guys got a lot more knowledge than I have. But the one thing that I do know is the common sense side of life, which means that if I go up and I talk to a police officer respectfully, chances are they're going to be respectful to me. My point is I have to know whether they're telling me something that is lawful or not. Like in California, if you haven't broken the law, you don't have to ID until you're booked. So
Travis, let me interrupt you. Travis, let me interrupt you for just a minute. I'm going to play this video for you. It only lasts for a minute.
Sure, man.
Y'all don't mind watching it, huh?
Oh, I love it, Teresa.
I love it. Love it. Do it.
Mark and Craig, Pop Brothers at Law. It's Shut the Fuck Up Friday, and we are here with Michael Rappaport, and we are going to review that script for you. Mm-hmm. Big brother, what do you say when the cops first pull you over?
Why'd you pull me over?
And when they start asking questions?
Not discussing my day or night, sir. Mm-hmm.
And if they keep asking questions?
Politely say, am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
Sir, I invoke the fifth.
Mm-hmm. And then Michael Rappaport, what do you do?
Shut the fuck up.
Simple, 25 words, politely, respectfully, review it, not only on Shut the Friday, but every day.
And don't forget to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Exactly.
And then when the cops ask more questions,
you shut the fuck up.
What if they put
the problem I have is I got so many friends of mine that are police officers that they'd probably look. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not a bootlicker by all means. Some of my buddies, we served together for years, and they're now police officers. But a lot of them get in that mindset of like, oh, hey, we're the law. You got to listen to us. Fuck you. I'm a citizen. I can do what the fuck I want as long as I don't hurt somebody else or infringe on somebody else's rights.
I love the Pop Brothers, by the way.
Oh yeah, Pop Brothers rock. But let me back up to another thing that you talked about earlier, and that was when we were on the facial recognition subject, and identifying you and spending all this time. If you want to count, Furry can get 1,100 people in a live stream, but let's think about like an actual head count of people that are in this First Amendment shit. I wouldn't put the number over 2,000. Really? 2,000 out of what, 60 million in the United States, and we're just talking the United States.
You're absolutely right, Don.
It's absolutely. This is tiny. This is little shit. They don't have the time or the investment or even the interest until they come to their front porch.
And then they block the haters on top of that, so it's even less of a number.
Exactly. So this is a really, really, really small thing. So don't think it's big, because I really don't believe it's big.
No, I'm a realist, meaning that in my world, the way I believe things should be is, and again, I'm forever learning and going forward. My daughter is proof of that. She's teaching me every day. I'm with the obvious understanding that not everybody's going to carry through. They used to call me what they call the Boy Scout in the military, is because if the Army regulation says ABC, I figure out ways to follow it, but also how to get around it and make it benefit the soldier. But the laws don't work that way. As regards to, if you're trespassing, you're trespassing. If you're not trespassing, you're not trespassing. So I'm not naive to the point where I will get myself tripped up. I just want to make sure that when I go out there, that I'm not going to be, how can I say it, subjecting a young man that's a police officer who's a good person, a good human being with their family, that all I want to do is educate them that, hey, I could do X, Y, and Z.
Well, you already said you're following News Now Patrick and News Now Houston and all that kind of stuff, so you're already on the wrong track, because you didn't even know who Jeff Gray was, though.
No, I didn't know Jeff Gray, but I have my own internal integrity. If God, I wish I could share, have all my friends that I've served with 20, 30 years from. The reason why I represented soldiers and people is because I believe in the rule of law. I believe in constitutional rights. I believe in all this stuff. I've watched them. Doesn't mean, and I really don't follow Patrick that much anymore. Matter of fact, it's really far down on my list on the YouTube thing where it comes up on popularity. Amagassi Press, I like watching. That's another one. That's another guy. He's an older guy, and I like watching him because he seems to be pretty respectful, but I could be totally wrong. But I'll be looking in the site that you guys gave me to see his background. But my point is that you have to have a certain moral compass within you before you do anything. You can't just go out there with the intention. I don't care about money. What I do care about is educating people and making them sure they understand. Because when I'm gone and dead from this world, my daughter, people I've influenced have to be able to sit back and look at the Constitution of the United States and say, this is what I'm allowed to do, and not just allow some fear mongering to push them over into giving up their rights. That's where I'm stuck at, is because it's like, with this coronavirus, I agree with it, but the freaking H1N1 has killed more people than what the coronavirus has in the United States.
And I see where you're coming from, and we've all come from that spot, but that's not where this community is at right now. This community is at like making people pissed. That's what they do. They do it before the camera shuts on, and then when they turn it on, people are already pissed. And all of a sudden, you're like, why are these people so mad? Because they've already attacked their wives, they've already attacked their kids, they've already attacked everything, and that's messed up.
Yeah, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. I don't know. You guys don't know me at all, and I wish to God you did know me. You would know that I don't do that to people. I've never done that to a person. I don't intentionally piss people off just to piss them, other than my wife and my daughter. I mean, I'll leave it that one at that one. But I like it to.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Well, even though that now, you're, we're all kind of semi-public here. I have a relationship with these other people here, and have for a long period of time. But like I came on the stream tonight, and I'm just human. I'm going to start forming an opinion, and I listened to you for a long time before I jumped in. So,
Roger.
Know that that's the impression. So when you start reaching out, oh, I wish you'd know my friends, or things like that, they could, what you're not saying is they could vouch for my integrity, or they could vouch for my personality. You know what? You don't have that. All you have is your integrity and who you are right here, right now.
Roger.
And you've already started your reputation. And make sure that's what you want it to be, because you can't reach back to your friends. Maybe you can make a video with a friend and you tell an old story and it makes good video. But, at this point, it to me, it just looks like you're kind of lost, and I just don't want to see you get jacked up over stupid shit. And that's
and how do you feel about the trolls? Are the trolls the ones that are like hurting the movement, or are the trolls the ones that are trying to improve the movement?
I would have to say I think the trolls may be trying to improve the movement. Not that when you get those how can I say it, arrogant or ignorant trolls that get on there, and again, hopefully I understand what a troll is, but besides the guy that sits under the tree collecting a toll to go past the bridge. But a troll to me is someone who is disrupting because they're not seeing what you're seeing, or it could be somebody from the police. It could be somebody from who knows. But you can learn from the trolls, because that is going to be a voice of opposition, from what I understand. And usually that's what I shouldn't say usually, our country is founded on dissension, for pushing back and doing things. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the type of personality I have. I've always pushed back against the system. I've always pushed it back against, like if one of the commanders made a freaking decision, that I would look at him and say, fuck, I can't say this out in front of everybody. I have to, excuse my language, guys, sorry. I would then go off to the side and pull the commander up to the side and say, what the heck are you thinking? X, Y, and Z. So in a sense, it's a learning curve for us all. My issue is that I guess I'm trying to be too perfect to go out there. I just got to get out there, get it done, do my research, due diligence, like you guys have stated, do my due diligence, make sure that I'm in the right, and don't offend or try to offend other people. Just do what I got to do and move on. That's really what my intent is. And if I can educate people along the way, that will be fine for me.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts, because a lot of them started off like that.
Yeah.
And in the end, they didn't end up like that. And that's what's messing up the movement.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. When money gets involved, that's why for me, I how can I say? I wish I could say this.
Bless your heart, you can fix your camera.
What's that? I wish I can come off without sounding like a pompous asshole. I went after a corporation for doing bad stuff years ago, and I was a district manager, fairly high up in the company. And it pissed me off so bad that they offended the laws and rules of our country and of our citizenry, of our state. And I sued them, and I won several million dollars. And I'm retired now. I left the corporate world, and said, screw you assholes, because up in corporate world, what I know of corporate world is they can do whatever they can do to you, and you don't have a fighting chance unless you got an attorney on your side to help you out. You're pretty much out there on your own. That's the reason why I stick up for soldiers and help them out, because the little guy does not understand what they're facing sometimes.
Hang on, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Bless your heart, your camera's on, and I didn't know if you minded or not. That's why I pulled you
Mine's
down
on?
off the panel. No, I was talking to Bless Your Heart. Go
Oh,
ahead,
bless your
Travis. I'm
heart.
sorry.
Yeah, no, I saw hers and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Can you hear me? Bless your heart.
Thank you. It's off now. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's I didn't know if you minded or not, and it saves bandwidth to use the avatar anyway.
No, I definitely mind, but thank you. I love you.
But being a corporative, not executive, I was below executive. I was, like I said, knowing this for years. And then I said, screw corporate America, because I got so pissed off on how the boards will meet and they'll screw over a manager on 500 shares of stock options, and they don't let them know they have it coming, and they don't say nothing to them. And then when it comes up to when they're due their stock options, they say, oh, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. And or increasing the cost share to the employee for their health benefits. Why the company I worked for was making money hand over fist during the recession. This goes back some days, or, as far as in our years as a country. And I looked at that and I said, screw this shit. I'm going to go work, be in the military full time, do this till the day I retire. And I love the fact that you can fight the law, rule, and regulation in the federal government as long, so it doesn't cause any harm to the employee or the employees around them or the taxpayer. So in this situation, for me, this is more about going out. God, I just lost my freaking train of thought. I'm sorry, guys.
Teresa, thanks, because Odinn wants my open camera, so thank you for looking out for me.
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. My fuck. I'm sorry.
Travis, I wanted to play. I'm going to try really hard too, because I'm not really sure how to work this sound on my computer. But I wanted to try to play if nobody minds, an audio recording of an interview that Merb did with Snooker B. Is anybody interested in listening to it tonight?
I'm open to anything, to be honest with you.
Odinn and JD, y'all mind? We lost Bless Your Heart again.
Oh.
Go ahead, Teresa. It's yours.
Yeah, well, let me try to cue it up real quick. Wait, I think Bless Your Heart's back. Hang on. Bless Your Heart, I wanted to play the audio of the Snooker B and Merb interview. I'm try to see if I can get it to play on my computer. I don't know. Do you mind listening to it?
I'm so sorry. I keep hitting the back button and it takes me out. So no, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, Don.
That's no problem.
Yeah, Don apologizes. He lost his IP for a moment.
Did I got thrown off when I was playing that video, didn't I? Like it stopped right in me playing the video or something, huh?
I don't know. I'm Streamlabs retarded, so I'm like learning this stuff.
Don't touch
I'm
any
gonna try to cue up the audio. Y'all can talk amongst yourselves. Hang on.
I'll say one thing, Travis. You came into the right group of people to get educated about what's really going on in this community.
Thank you, NJ, because we were all there. I swear to God, we were all there. And we've realized what's happening. And it's not the community that everybody thinks the community is.
Well, that's why I came here, is because I was on a prior one that Teresa, that you had, as far as one of these meetings online. But this is obviously my second one. But I've been watching you guys, listening to you guys, because I value what you guys have to say.
It's not a troll community. It's a truth community.
Bless Your Heart is a super troll.
Ooh.
I am.
Right.
Shut up, Odinn.
I for the most part, and we get called trolls a lot, but for the most part, we really do have people's best interests at heart because I mean, I've been there. I know how much it costs to get yourself out of jail. I know what lawyers charge. You know, I know how hard it is. I know how alone you can be when you're facing those charges, you know.
Yep.
So, you know, I just caution you.
Roger, and that's why I'm coming here is because, you know, the last conversation, I can't remember it, but I remember being really engaged listening to you guys talk, and I was learning from you guys, but again, it's going to take me a minute before I can get out there, so that way I can make sure that, you know, again, I'm not doing harm versus good.
And we want you out there. We really do. And we want the right people out there. We don't want these schmucks that are out there like starting trouble. That's not what this is about at all.
Roger.
Can you guys hear the audio?
I can't.
I can't.
I don't hear
well,
anything.
That's not working. Okay, go ahead. Keep talking.
I'd like to see an auditor be a tripod for the camera. He stands there, takes the video, and uses his Fifth Amendment and shuts the fuck up.
Why don't they do that? It's like they're allowed to shut the fuck up, but they don't. They antagonize the stuff, and they don't understand that.
That's what I never understood about certain auditors. I didn't understand why, because everything I always advised people I represented is to shut up. Stop saying stuff.
Hey, I could be.
Y'all shut up. You're making too much noise.
Stop.
What's going on, Teresa?
She's
Not too much. Welcome. I could be. I'm trying to figure out how to play some audio over. I think maybe I can play it through Discord. Let me try that.
Discord.
Yeah.
How are you, Travis?
Discord bag of dicks.
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking, brother.
Good. I've been listening.
Discord, the devil's app.
The double zap. What are you
I
trying?
like bag of dicks, so if anybody's talking about me, just call me a bag of dicks, please.
You bag of greasy dicks.
Oh, greasy's good too. Yeah.
Forget the spit. You got grease. Never mind. I'll shut up.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Right, exactly.
I went too far. I
Fuck
went
that
too
spit.
far. I'm sorry. I went too far.
That's truth.
Oh.
I could be just made the spit sound, so you didn't go too far.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything, Teresa, on Discord. Or am I? Please check the email following your Oh, resend. Because I've been having people message me on this dang thing.
Because it's shut the fuck up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Excuse me a second. Vital Organ, you know how to find it.
Vital Organ, I see that GIF. Let me I'm gonna show it to y'all. Vital Organ just posted a GIF on my Discord. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Vital Organ's my man, and anybody tries to play him, then you guys are fucked.
GIFs. Okay.
Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Where was it? I just saw it. Maybe it's down here. Here it is. This is it. He
Which
wants
one?
everybody to see this. Who is that? Is that a movie or what? Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
This one's cute too.
Yeah, I seen that
All
one.
right.
Tato Vader.
See.
Is that Punisher?
I posted
I don't
this
know what the hell
audio.
that was.
I'm gonna try to play it.
All right, so
Can you hear it?
Snicker B,
Can you hear the audio?
You quit talking over it.
Urban
Barely.
That's not good. It's not loud enough.
Button up all the way.
Yeah.
Hit that
Something,
little
I'm not
volume
doing something right.
Hit the volume button to the right of it, see if it's up all the way.
Vital said you're showing the wrong thing.
It's the guy from Mist.
Mist.
Yeah, I don't know how to play it like that though.
Missed the
I'm not
horror.
good with audio.
What are you good with, Teresa?
I don't know. I was gonna upload it. I know if I play it from YouTube, I know I can play the audio, but I don't know how to get the audio to come
Teresa
through.
should start an ASM fucking channel because everybody will listen to her and fall asleep, and she would have millions of viewers.
Oh, hell yeah.
ASM, what does that mean?
Would I just read?
Yeah, you just like talk in your voice and just do your thing in your voice. They have like millions of viewers.
Listen to you talk.
Yeah, thank you, Vital Organ. I thought I recognized him. Yeah, by the way, Travis Vital Organ's in the YouTube chat.
Ah, okay. Let me look over here real quick.
Trish, you have the voice for ASM, and you could make millions, dude.
The Punisher?
Same actor, different movie.
Ah, Roger. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm a D2D.
Derp, 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 derp.
No, I could build these things like no other, and fix any type of military equipment.
You can't
Like,
fix Vital Organ, though.
No,
Yeah,
no.
He's broke. He's beyond repair. Well, which one are you playing? Are you supposed to be playing one or not?
And DDT's got the DDTs.
He's so broke.
You hit the bottle early tonight.
Sounded like somebody was drunk when we first started out.
Yeah, well, Teresa's just got to find that bigger hammer to get it to work. Well, I always say, if it doesn't work, get a bigger hammer. And if all else fails, there's always C4.
Yeah, I was going to say Semtex or C4.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to try it this way. I don't know. Maybe if I share the screen and just try to play it. Let's see.
Share screen.
Can you hear it?
Vital Organ. Fuck all y'all.
Can you hear it?
Nope.
Damn it.
You need to talk to Bob.
I wish I could figure out how to play it.
Teresa, where's it at?
Well, it's an audio file that I'm trying to play. I uploaded it to Discord. No, I mean, I have it on my computer. I have the audio file on my computer, but I don't know how to play it here. You know what I mean? Let me see if maybe that's an option on the share screen.
I know on a media player you could play too.
I have no clue. No clue. Especially with StreamYards.
Which room is it in, Teresa?
I put it in the log room.
The log room.
Is that like redwood log, or is that pine or oak, or?
It's a room that keeps a log of the people that come and go into the server.
No, I'm just being sarcastic with you, is all.
Teresa, you read what A Balance saying? Play it through your browser. Share it in audio.
Drag and drop the MP3 into my browser. Okay, let me try that.
Watch the screen. She's going to whoop.
I can move down so AB can get on here and talk you through it.
Maybe he doesn't want to come up here.
What if he does?
Well, ask him.
I don't see a log room. She don't love me.
Not anymore.
Okay, I think this might work.
All right. You can do it.
All night long.
Can we like discuss what yelling means? Can you guys like tell me what yelling means? Because I don't know what yelling means. I think yelling is like screaming.
Yeah.
What do you guys think yelling means?
I don't hear anything.
Ooh, look at the numbers.
Yeah, 12, 14, 15.
Can you hear it?
No, can you?
Oh, I think I forgot to click the button. Hang on.
Oh, this is hilarious.
This is really complicated.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Don't mind us. We're just a bunch of trolls messing around.
Hey.
No, we're a bunch of hackers that can't hack. So anyway.
Hackers can't figure out how to work a computer.
We're a bunch of hackers that can't play an audio clip.
We're just so 20th century.
We need
You can
advice on
shadow
hacking,
ban her.
please.
I
You can
bought
shadow ban
hacking.
her.
I bought hacking software from a Haji Mart when I was in Iraq.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hit the
Here we
play
go.
button. Let's see if y'all can hear it.
Was
Hang
it black code, or if not, then you waste your money.
Yeah,
Black code
yeah.
is the best code.
Okay,
Here we go.
hold on.
All I heard was Turka Jihad.
Yeah.
Turkish
so,
Turkish jihad.
Snooker B, Lily, are you
Here it is.
around?
Sorry, guys.
Lily, are you around still? Snooker B, come on, you wanted this for so long. The
Murby.
staple remover. Hello, Snooker B.
How are you, Murby?
I am lubricated enough that I can make this tolerable.
Right.
So how are you?
Where's your
Are you
address?
making me
I'm
listen to
coming over.
Merv?
I learned that I have a very low tolerance level.
Because you don't know what the heck's going on and who's pulling what and all that.
Something about Chabad sandwiches.
No, it's called Chabad.
Okay, Chabad sandwiches. They sound
Chabad
delicious.
Reuben.
I had a Reuben today for lunch. I just want you to know that
Oh, good.
it was
Where'd you have
delicious.
it at?
I haven't
A
heard
Reuben,
this
not
in
a
a while.
Taylor's in
But it's
in
like
Rockland. Have you
19
ever been there?
minutes
Oh,
long.
I've never been there.
It's really good. They've got a lot of specialty ice creams and not ice creams, but specialty shakes. They're really good. You should try them out sometime.
I'll have to check it out.
Teresa R says that everybody's going to take a drink every time someone says habeas corpus. But let's just cut to the meat of this. Do you have that citation that says that you could turn a?
Can we take a drink every time Merv's an asshole?
In 2005, we were driving
I
back
gotta
from
go get my
Colorado.
coronavirus.
I'm not gonna believe your story. So, do you have a citation of a case where somebody turned a statutory court into a common law court?
It's what I did is I went in and counterclaimed them.
Drink.
That's bullshit. But go ahead.
Why is it bullshit? Anybody can make a counterclaim.
You made a counterclaim on what? What did you make a counterclaim on? I've heard the story before, but go ahead.
Proof of jurisdiction.
Yeah, so as soon as you make a counterclaim, you've already accepted jurisdiction. So you done fucked up. That's stupid.
Under
How about that
common-
counter? How about that? How about that citation now?
I told you I'd give you $100 if you go to Auburn. I can't get into the court cases. You have all access.
I didn't ask you for a court case. I asked you for a citation.
From 2005. Are you serious?
I'm not asking for your citation because yours didn't go anywhere and doesn't exist. You made a claim. You made a very specific claim. You said that you could turn a statutory court into a common law court.
Exactly. What were our courts before Congress was established?
So this is a lady named Snooker B, and I would describe her as a sob sit. So, and then Merv had been drinking, and this gets to be a little funny.
This is probably gonna be hilarious.
They were common law courts, correct?
What were our courts before Congress was established? They were English courts.
Heard that beer
Habeas
pop.
corpus,
Everybody drink.
everybody.
That's what I'm doing right
They were
now. I'm
English.
drinking one.
Okay,
Congress was established with the Constitution. There were no federal courts prior to the Constitution. The Constitution created federal courts and and Congress at the same time.
Okay,
Habeas corpus.
let's see if we can get on something that we agree upon. Do you agree the United States government is a corporation?
It is.
Okay, is it privately or publicly owned?
It is neither. Habeas
Okay.
corpus.
Okay, so in order to have a corporation, what are the let's go over like the 5 or the 6 things needed to form a corporation.
There's not 5 or 6 things needed to form a
But what
corporation.
I'm saying is you need to have a board of directors, correct? You need to
That's incorrect.
you need to appoint your president, vice president, secretary of state, your treasury.
That's incorrect.
Okay. But anyway,
Habeas corpus.
Drink.
whatever.
Okay.
Well, you're wrong. In order to form a corporation, you need to have a body of people with some sort of an organizational structure that is independent of those people in the body. So
Shareholders.
corporation comes from corpus. That's a body. The
Shareholders.
corporation isn't dependent on any specific person in it. So if the head of the corporation dies, you can put a new corporate head in there.
Yes.
The U.S. is a corporation because the president, the vice president, if they go away, they get replaced. Congress, if a congressman dies, he gets replaced.
Yes.
It is a corporation because the individuals who formed it formed a body that lasts longer than any of the individuals in
Okay,
it.
perfect.
Like a
Perfect. Let's
cartel.
talk about those individuals. How many of those, you probably don't know any of this, and a lot of your listeners don't know any of this. Do you know anything about Freemasonry?
Nope. Don't care
Okay.
either.
You don't care?
Absolutely not.
Hi, Joe, not Joe.
Yeah, you're typical. You're typical. Because that's exactly what this whole country is about.
No, it's not.
It was founded by Freemasons.
No, it's not.
Okay. It's land of the free, it says. Free,
Free, yes.
freedom
Land of the
means-
free, not land of the Freemasons.
No, you better believe it.
Does it say land of the free or does it say land of the Freemasons? You dumb twat. It says land of the free. You're reading shit in that doesn't exist.
I need to play this game more often.
Stands for freedom. No, it's
No, smart people, educated people think it stands for free. And it's a fucking song, you dumb twat.
Damn.
Oh, you're a pain in my ass, Merv.
I know. I'm bigger than OG2.
No, whatever. But
Tone
no,
it down, give her a
all you
chance.
have to do.
This is retarded. I don't even know I'm doing this.
Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about problems to create law that you and OG2 were talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I've studied these Freemasons or 33rd degree Scottish rites.
Shout out to
majority of our
Masshole Mitch's
presidents have been
wife, by the
Freemasons.
way, because I love her.
In fact, the first president of the United States Corporation was George Washington, and on his bust you'll see Freemason.
The mic is open, bless your heart.
President doesn't come first. Freemason comes first. If you look at this whole country and this whole world, it is built on Freemasonry. And
No,
people
it's not.
You don't even know anything about Freemasonry, Merv. Why are you saying it's not?
Because a person was a Freemason doesn't mean that everything they do is Freemasonry.
It's not your local man in the Blue Lodge that's a Freemason.
Patrick is a Freemason.
Abad Lubavitch. It's a form of Freemason. It goes with the Scottish Rite wing of Freemasonry.
I'm a Freemason.
Not the Blue Lodge and everything else. You know nothing about it. How can you argue with me?
I poured
Are
some
you
out.
Illuminati?
You're wrong.
I speak their language. I
Of
understand.
course.
Congratulations.
I poured some concrete. Does that make me a Mason?
Okay, Merv.
All
Yes.
you have is conjecture and silliness. That is all you have.
Of course.
All I want
Sorry,
is a
you're-
citation.
Oh
I
my-
want a citation to a case that establishes your first claim. You're
Okay.
wanting to move on to everything else.
Go to a court of record.
Okay,
we
we're
have
about 7
courts of
minutes into
records,
this. I'm going to skip through a little bit of
Do you
it.
have a citation?
Do you have a court
Illuminati,
of
I
record?
can't figure
Do
out
you have
the
a
internet.
citation?
Was it in a court of record? Because
Do
if it
you
was
have
court
a
of record,
citation?
It would be there.
Do you have a citation? They don't store these things at courts of record. They
Exactly.
they
Why
store these
not?
things.
Why
They store
not?
these. Here, hold on. Let me drop this into chat.
I can't believe any of you guys
How about
liked
that
this guy at one time.
All right, so now you guys can see what I'm looking at. Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at, Snooker?
Hang on, let me get back to it. Attacker.
I need way more alcohol, I tell you what.
Yeah, it's pretty disheartening when you stop and see this shit in front of
You and me
Okay,
both,
4
Merv.
more
Pretty
minutes.
disheartening
4
when I
more
realize
minutes.
the state of our educational and mental health care systems.
Well, that
You guys actually supported this guy at one time.
picture, Merv.
We used to really
as you
enjoy
listen to
these
the police
interviews.
officers, he was all alone, nobody around.
I understand the interviews because they're awesome as hell,
Okay,
but Merv is
so this is a picture.
fucking
What happened to
schmuck.
the guy in the truck when he saw somebody running up shooting? Did he stay there and jump out with his firearm?
Well, take a look at the pictures that they presented. It's all blurry and everything else.
Because this is probably from
I
a
still love
traffic
you guys
camera.
though, because you guys are
Oh yeah. and they're
awesome.
always- Okay, hang on. It's taken from the same one, and here's the.
See, I want to
you'll
say he
see
just
them all
freaks out at the
running
end of
around, and you
this.
also see in the door you're gonna see.
I'm sure he does.
Right after you, right after.
Are you sub to Truth Convoy?
I don't even know who it is.
You'd be right up her alley. All right, so I'm gonna watch this video.
Yeah, and look to the right.
Look to the right.
Yeah,
Inside edition. I see a guy away. Oh,
look to the right.
yeah, I see the guy running away.
Do you see all those?
The guy on the stoop was running away.
Going off? You see all those little flashlights going off, Murby? In the restaurant?
No.
Rewatch it again.
I am rewatching it and rewatching it and rewatching it. I don't see any flashlights. Which the restaurant on the right that the guy in the
cop standing holding the door open.
I don't even remember the video that this
again.
was.
You assume he's a cop. I can't see that from this
He's
video.
got a black hat on, Merv. But if you
Oh my God, he has a black hat on. It's got to be a cop. Oh my God.
If you enlarge
That's retarded.
if you can enlarge
Okay, I gotta stop looking at the comments because I
It's a
keep
grainy. So here's the problem. It's a grainy picture.
I'm
The
not
reason why
done.
it's a grainy picture is because it's from a
They
traffic.
blur
It's
it. They
it's
blur
from a static camera, and a high definition picture would require a lot of storage, and so they don't do high definition pictures on these. There is no reason to. From this, you could establish where various people are. For 99% of things, this is fine. And from your inability to determine things clearly, you are filling in the gaps with your conspiracy theory. This is stupid. That is not a cop. That is a guy in black or a
This is
person
why I
in black
left
who's running
Discord.
away from the action. I don't see any flashlights. This is ridiculous.
Seemed like he had really freaked out on her, but I guess that's about it.
Anybody in chat, please,
hold on, it's still
please
goes.
tell me if you see
I don't
somebody
understand
enlarge
this.
it.
And whenever
no comments
Merv
enlarge it.
talked,
That's not a
and I
police
just couldn't
officer.
handle
No
it.
way. There
So
you go.
I just quit. Timed out.
So how about that case citation yet? Do you have a case citation?
Blurry, Murby. See how it's all blurry?
Oh, it's supposed to be like they have it in the movies where you can just say enhance, enhance, enhance. I can make out his reflection in the mirror.
You know what, Murby?
I bet you're about to tell me.
You ever heard of the Fraternal Order of Police?
He's not funny,
Yes.
Odin. Why are you
What is
laughing? He's just a fucking troll.
it's
He's
a
not even a troll. He's like
fraternity of
worse than a troll.
police.
What's worse than a troll?
Well, you're partially correct.
I'm sorry, but she's deserving what she's getting.
I know, but not from him. He's like, I don't know. He's like troll toe scum.
I remembered
she
it being a
deserves
lot
it.
better than that.
Oh,
she was
deserves
kind of
it.
goofy. Yeah, she was a little goofy.
He is an OG troll.
He is not an OG's troll. He's a fucking moron from fucking California that thinks he is.
Ooh.
Why can't we get Raging Scorpion up here? And I had Mouse in the back, and I just never really had a space for him up here.
Oh, I'll drop that out for Mouse.
It was trying to come on earlier. But
Oh,
this
that was-
Raging Scorpion guy is just going bananas in the comments section here. Well, I guess maybe he stopped for a minute. Maybe he went and took a chill pill.
You held back Mouse?
He held him back. Well, Odin was in line first.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Mouse, I'll say I'm sorry, but not.
Oh, I love that.
He's probably not watching anymore. I would imagine he was. He's back there in the back of the stage with this. That thing came up and said multimedia streaming something.
Ew,
Like
he like with his big old shit-eating grin.
yeah, and I can see
Ew.
his big little lab in the background. I was like, oh my god, it's Mouse.
Did you see the piss jug?
He's
I
got a
did
short
not see
attention
Chuck.
span anyway.
If Merv is watching this stream, hello.
Fuck Merb. Oh, sorry. I mean, hello.
Hello. We know you hate us all.
No, all the people that he fucking loved at one time. Fuck Merb. I mean, hello again. Sorry.
I guess upsets me about Merb the most is that we all kind of took it for a long. I mean, he's good enough to dish it out, and there'd be times when he'd get upset with one of us for one reason or the other, and he'd just flat out chew us out.
He did it to every single one of you guys, and it was disgusting.
And
He certainly did.
you know, and then whenever he did something that upset me, and I say a few words about it, he gets all butthurt and closes down his Discord. You know.
Of course he does, because he's a closed down Discord kind of person.
I never would have thought that
Just
he was
look at
the
it
kind of
this
person
way.
that could dish it out but couldn't take it. I never thought that.
Really, Teresa, you didn't think that about Merv?
But are we not a better group for that having happened?
Oh my God, we are. We have risen from the ashes.
I mean, when he was there were maybe 2, 3 servers. Now there's what, near 2 dozen?
About 20 something.
Oh no, I left your server because of Sue.
I see how it is.
She told everybody to leave, so I left. Sorry.
Huh?
You guys were in a fight, and she told everybody to leave your server, so I left. Because I love Sue. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I love you. You know I love you, but I love Sue more than anybody.
So,
Gosh,
Travis,
I hope our MERP comments don't entice a video from him.
Yeah, you do. Don't be a liar.
No, I really don't. I have enough people making videos about me. I don't need him to make them too.
We need that 3 number.
so Travis, what do you think of it so far?
No, I think it's great. I know there's a lot of. It's like with anything. When I always discussed a case with one of the people I represented, it's one of those where you sit back and you filter out all the BS that you know that can't fly, won't work, well, it doesn't function correctly. That's what I'm kind of like what it seems like what I'm seeing here within the auditing community.
So what do you think of the trolls, quote unquote?
Well, like I said before, I think the trolls could bring value to any organization or whatever you may be into. Because if someone is like descending on the side or the left or right, you could sit back and go, all right, well, is there any validity to that?
So do you think trolls are the people that are like oppositional to what's going on, or do you think trolls are like totally something different? Because in my book, trolls are something totally different.
Well, no, I don't know if trolls are something totally different or opposition. I think trolls are people, or for the most part, are people that are, how can I say it? Like the young recruit going to boot camp going, I'm going to do this to serve my country. 30 years later, you're looking back going, man, I was a dumbass. There's always chance for growing through that time frame of being, let's say, okay, the first impression of a troll could be someone who's being an idiot, just trying to cause disturbance within your channel. Whereas if someone who has any history behind them knows that they're causing disturbance, to say, hey, look, I agree with a lot of what you're doing, but not everything. And that's where the value comes to me. Did that make any sense?
Kind of.
Okay. I'm at least as long as it's kind of, I'm good.
Are you realizing trolls is not a derogatory term?
No, it's like the word ignorant. Saying someone's ignorant is not the same as saying someone's stupid or dumb. Ignorant means you just don't know. That's how I equate it. As being a troll is like the word ignorant.
So you're saying trolls are ignorant, not the ones that look up the public records and see what's going on?
No. What I'm saying from a human perspective, a troll, like how can I say it?
A real troll.
Again, maybe I've never really encountered a real troll. A real or a person that I see that is against or saying stuff against what you're doing and or going onto your page to either educate or cause chaos. It's one of the two, is how I look at it. And you could take it for what it's worth.
Okay, I caused chaos on Earl's page because he's a chomo. So I'm a troll.
What's a chomo?
A child molester.
Oh, god damn.
He's alleged.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he hasn't been convicted yet.
Alleged chomo, but still a rapist. But I still go on and like cause discord on it or whatever you want to call it on his channel because he is a rapist and alleged chomo.
Well, the biggest thing for me is that if you go on to someone's, again, having what I have in front of me now is going to give me a lot better perspective on people that I choose to follow and to look at what they do. But as a troll, from a troll perspective, if you're going onto someone's page that you personally know without a doubt that they've done something wrong and you're doing it as to try to protect other people, that could be a double-edged sword is the way that I see it. But if you're
That's not a troll then. If you're trolling somebody, you're trolling them for a reason. If you're on somebody's Discord just to be an ass, that's different.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know the difference because I don't do that. I don't go on the sites and I don't troll, as what you say, troll. I don't go on the sites and personally go after people because I know personal stuff about them.
Okay, I would go on people's sites if I knew they were a rapist or a chomo, but I wouldn't go on their sites if I think they're a rapist or a chomo. So that's the difference.
Okay. Well, again, that comes down to the moral challenge we all have, is that we have to make the decision. For me, like with David Earl, whatever his name is, I didn't know any of that background that he has. I knew about a recent one or whatever it was, but I didn't know any about his past from what it sounded like from what you guys are saying. So what it really, the site that was given to me by Odinn, or Odinn had posted, or somebody had posted, it allows me to look at them and say, all right, this is your full background. What have you been convicted of? If they've been charged with something, the one thing I know flat out the gate that you could be charged with anything and never found guilty for it. Does that mean you're innocent or guilty?
And that's the troll site everybody's talking about. There's public records on that site, and that's the troll site. So I guess the people that have public records are the trolls?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Let me tell you something, story, since we're talking about Earl David. Because Earl David Warden, didn't just get convicted of raping a woman. You could say that, well, that was 30 years ago he was convicted of raping a woman. But then you look into the circumstances, and for the longest time he presented those circumstances to his viewing audience as a Romeo and Juliet scenario where he was just a little bit past the age and she was just a little bit too young, and it just, her parents got upset and they pursued the charges. But in reality, what he did was he pretended to be a cop, and he pulled over a woman and he put her in zip ties and he drove her behind a gas station, raped her with a gun, at gunpoint. And I'm not saying that he inserted a gun in her
And
vagina.
he admitted to this.
He admitted to all of this. Well, no, he didn't actually admit to all of that. He got convicted before a jury. His story was that he just met her at a red light and they just, it was all consensual out of nowhere. But of course they had the zip ties and the fingerprints and the car and everything else. And, you got to really watch. Like I said, there's a lot of things that motivate people to get involved in,
just like Mouse, just like
they're angry with the government more so, and they're angry for a reason. And so you got to watch the motivations behind a lot of these people. How you doing?
I could tell you that with Dave Warden, with what's his face, Patrick, with the others, I don't look at them as being idols. I've never done that. The one thing of it is I'll always carry my morals, my convictions, my being honest with people on who I am, what I do. I will never do as far as like what you're saying that Dave himself has done. Now, what I try not to do is stand in judgment of people. Although that's something that's very critical, that a jury, I mean, we've had countless times in this country where juries convicted a person of murder and then 20 years later they're found innocent. You get people that are charged with heinous crimes and found innocent that are guilty as hell. So, like you said, I mean, it comes down to how do you disseminate? How do you look at something?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, my bad. My issue that I see is that I only know Dave from what I've seen on TV. What he did in the background, is it important to me for a moral aspect? Yes. As a father, as a husband, and as a grandfather, yeah, it matters to me, because your moral, what you leave this world with, is what other people think about you and how you are. So, but I've seen tons of
He's
people.
a chomo, dude.
Alleged.
Yeah, I know, I get it, but
Unconvicted.
He's unconvicted. Like, is it Odinn? Are you saying that?
No. Teresa, doesn't he have a second felony as well?
Felon carrying a weapon.
He has convictions for.
I'll talk to the daughter, and anybody that listens to Earl is messy.
All I can say is that that kind of crap is not in my, how can I say it, my moral bag that I carry with me when I walk around. The moral bag that you carry around with you is that the old saying is you do the right thing when nobody's looking. And I believe that 100%. The problem of it is I don't know Dave, Patrick.
You're not carrying the moral bag.
Sorry.
You're all right, Travis. Go ahead.
No, to me, the moral bag comes to as far as like, if I believed everything that was said to me, that the earth is flat, and all those other things. Now, the one thing I can say is that I will never know Dave on a personal level, because if I have any negative feelings against anybody, they will not come around my family. Period.
Have you read any of his police writings?
No, I have not, and that is my fault. And since I have this site here, I can look into every single auditor or that they come up on here. I can look at that now and go, huh, but that doesn't make my decision on how or what or where or I'm going to do when I go out and be an auditor. Being an auditor is strictly just going out, taking video, taking pictures, coming home, and nobody says anything. Great.
No, I'm not asking you to stop being an activist. An activist is different than a father.
Yeah. No, I see where the political side of it's going. Is that you got David Warden out there that, pedophile. You've got Patrick, who's an instigator. You've got people.
Earl is not. I gotta make sure you both are saying this right. He is not a pedophile yet.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm sorry.
He's not convicted.
You're right
for slander.
You are right, Odinn, and I apologize for that.
It's all good. No, I'm just trying to cover your ass.
No, and I appreciate that. The issue for me is that, even if you're convicted in the court of law in the United States, even though we have the best system, doesn't mean we have a foolproof system. That means that everybody.
I don't know many daughters that fucking say my dad fucked me, but anyway.
No, and I agree with you. If they're saying that and they came to me, I'd be like, "Holy shit!" Now I can look at his videos for what they're worth only. If he stays on sidewalks and doesn't go anywhere and can't carry a weapon, he can only carry a black powder weapon because he can't own a standard weapon. That tells me something. But the value that I'm getting from it is that he's always cordial from what I've seen, I've not seen any bad videos. He's always been cordial with whoever he's interacted with, other than a few situations. I like being cordial with
Yeah,
people.
other than his daughters.
Well, agreed.
Now that you know more about him, when you go back and watch his videos, I think you'll see them in a different light. There are a lot of things that I've noticed in his videos that just are really creepy. But it's probably a topic that we can just save for another day because I just cannot stand talking about that guy.
Yeah, no, and I apologize if I keep bringing it up.
Thank you, Teresa. We're done.
Yeah, I love you.
Hi, Don. Back.
Hey, I'm back. My SP started working, and I know you just tried to put it away, but let me just ask a question, Travis. Why does it sound like to me it sounds like you're making excuses to like this fella? And I'm not telling you how to think, but you're trying to like everybody and say everybody has value, and I just don't believe that everybody has value.
My issue is that I don't know him. I don't know him like you guys do, meaning that I don't know his background. Now that I have this site, I can actually look at it. I can actually say, all right, and form my own opinion objectively. Because,
okay. Well, let me. I didn't want to keep it on Earl, and I didn't mean to because Teresa asked to change the subject. Let's talk about Patrick for a second. I mean, would you make excuses to like Patrick also because Patrick has his own history?
Well, the only history I know is Patrick being an antagonizer. That I watched his videos, I've seen his videos, and to me, he does antagonize the police. That's something I would never do. I would never antagonize people.
He's under a current restraining order for antagonizing and harassing people, and has been under several restraining orders over the course of his, time on this planet. As being only 21 or 22 years old, I think there's been 5 or 6 filed against him, something like that, some outrageous amount.
Well, the way that I see life is that like what he does, there's a little bit of value in what he does. Not saying that antagonizing, being a bully, or being whatever to other people, that's not what I value from Patrick. What I value from Patrick is it seems like him and his girl has been together for a long time. And again, that's my perspective. A long time for me. My wife and I've been together for 30 years plus. But for him, he's been with the same gal for a while. But with the way he interacts with the police and whatnot, I do not like. I do not like that. I like the fact that he videos, he challenges. But what I don't like is the confrontation that he instigates.
Seeing the confrontation that he instigates, would it surprise you to know that he is allegedly very abusive to his girlfriend?
It would be very surprising. Not that reason why I say that is because I've never seen it. Again,
you've never seen his videos where he's telling her to shut the fuck up.
No, I've never seen any of those.
What about going out and auditing right now? Are you aware that she's pregnant?
No, I have no clue.
See, I don't see any redeeming values in the little bastard. I don't see any good there.
Yeah, I always
he has a mask on and she doesn't.
I've always seen him as a money grabbing type person, that he's doing this for financial gain. That's how I've seen it. So, but what I do is I value him going out with his camera, going forward, and doing things. But he's what I don't like is he antagonizes. In other words, I think I would
That's
say
all he
that
does, though. So why do you value that?
I only value the fact that he goes out, and once in a while he will find. Well, I shouldn't say genuine because that wouldn't be right.
He doesn't find anything. He just he makes that shit happen.
No, and just name one. Name one. I can't name one. Can you name one redeeming video where he found something?
Trying to think.
He didn't go out and find.
Can you name one video when he got arrested and then worked against it and got the law changed?
That could be your camera's on. Or I'm not Don.
Oh, something's happening over there.
Don's killing a chicken.
Oh, I guess so. Or killing some plastic drawers.
Oh no, that's not me.
No.
I was on. I was muted.
Don, your camera's on.
No, my redeeming
No, it's not.
value of him is that this may sound bad.
You're
is
about
that
to sound bad if you're like about to protect him.
No, it's not protecting because it's something I would never do. It's how he goes off or is aggressive with the police. See, I would never treat the police that way. But what I admire is his. But I know it's all about money. It's all about like Teresa was saying, clicks, views. I do know that his tenacity to go after it, not tenacity. I shouldn't say that. I would never behave the way he does. That's the only thing I could say, other than looking at him and saying, "Okay, dude, I guess there's really not a whole lot that I could pull from him."
Well, that's kind of my point. I mean, you're digging deep to try to find redeeming value, and I can't find any. But I'm to the point that I've studied it long enough that I can say that, and I'm not telling
I
you how
find
to think.
redeeming value with the person that they show, and Patrick doesn't show any.
No, yeah, for me, and I should say this correctly, passion and love for what you do, the fire in the belly type mentality. Meaning that knowing that if I go out and I audit and that what I'm doing is bring value to people to my left and to my right.
So you think Patrick is bringing value?
No. Because the way that he operates is no way, shape, or form I would teach people or teach somebody.
That's not normal.
But what is normal nowadays?
Right now, we don't know what normal is. But we know that we don't antagonize people beforehand and then turn on the video camera and then say, look at these fuckers. We know that's not normal either.
Bingo. I would never do that. My point being is that the times that we're in nowadays, people are so uneducated with regards to the laws and their constitutional rights that's why so many people get in trouble by following the Patricks and the other folks that go out there and antagonize people. Whereas I learned not to be that way. I guess the value that I'm pulling from Patrick is not to be like him.
So you subscribe to Patrick?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that I agree with him. It just means that I look
at it.
Yeah,
it does. If you're subscribed to it, it means you agree with it.
No.
In his eyes, at least.
Bless your heart, I'm subscribed, but I don't. That doesn't mean I agree with it. I just want to see the ass hattery, and I want to see him get cuffed or tased.
Yeah, but Travis isn't looking for the ass hattery. Travis is looking for the good in all everybody does.
Well,
ass hattery is different.
No, bless your heart. I love you for your, I agree with you. I do. I look for the best in everybody that I can, that I meet. It's up to them to decide whether or not they keep that respect. Now, Patrick, from his videos, if he was a friend of mine, I'd be looking at him saying, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop that. Shut up.
Like all of his friends.
Yes, I would be that way with him. The only value I get from him, it's kind of like when I was growing up as a kid, is not to be like my dad. I know that sounds bad. I know that sounds bad. But where it comes down to is that my dad was a hardworking man, did everything he could to support us kids, but he just, for whatever reason, made bad decisions through his whole life. But we never know what is a good decision or bad decision. What he does is, from what I've seen from Patrick, what he does, he runs off of his emotions, and his emotions...
You think any of Patrick's decisions are a good decision?
No.
No, of course not.
No, I'll tell you that.
Do you not think it has to do with making money?
No, it all has to do with making money with him.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, that's all it has to do with. With him, it's all about money. I could tell you there was arguments that I remember reading and seeing within the auditing community about people complaining about him. It's always about, oh, send me this, oh, this, or this, or this, about money. I don't idolize that. I idolize truth.
But they still send it to him.
They do, but that's up to them. I will never send him money.
You're right. It is up to them, but that's what the trolls, quote unquote, are getting pissed about. They're getting pissed about the scams. They're getting pissed about the activists. You know, like the trolls know who true activists are. And when they get pissed at you not being a true activist, that's when they go after you.
Okay, well, that's a good piece of advice.
They don't go after just a normal, everyday so-and-so guy. They go after the ones that are scamming people, and that's what pisses people off.
Yeah, that I can't stand.
Patrick has had a couple of chances to be redeeming, if even a little bit, where he has had questionable arrest, questionable situations where he had a case, and he always takes a plea deal. So he
always takes a plea deal. In the Beaver situation, that he was going to fight this shit, he took a plea deal. He always does. So he's fighting against our rights, actually.
Wow. No, it's just one of those things where I sit back. I just don't, like I said, I pull value from Patrick only on the aspect of what not to do.
Oh, that's a good thing to look at, actually.
But where I'm going from is that I've seen some of his videos, and then I watch it, and I'm like, all right, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Oh, wait a second.
But not everybody looks at it that way. Everybody looks at Patrick like he's like the godfather of auditing, and he's not.
Fuck no. Excuse my language. Hell no. Because the thing that I look at is that not one person is absolutely perfect in this industry. So what you have to do is from what I've heard from you guys.
It's not an industry, it's a movement.
Yeah, it's a movement. But where it comes down to is that you have to know the temperament of the environment you're going into and how you respond. They don't do that. I should say Patrick doesn't do that. He doesn't care. He'll walk into Stockton, California, where I live, and go, fuck you, I'm videoing, I don't give a fuck who you are. Or
it's not just it's a bunch of them.
And I agree with you. There is a lot of them. What I see is like, hey, officer so-and-so, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it, just for the sake of doing whatever. Do you have an issue with that? But that's not how Patrick or a lot of these instigators work.
Well, they're not going to make money that way, first off. And second off, that's why we were talking about you with Jeff Gray. You need to look up his stuff and you see what he's been doing, and he's fucking awesome.
Well, no, and I got it written down right here to be someone to, it's honor your oath. Is that what you said?
Most definitely. And like all you guys are thinking these others or what's going on, but there are activists that are doing the frontline shit, and we back them. We really do. We're not trolls. We back the good stuff. We don't back the bullshit.
Roger. I'm not interested in money. I'm not interested in any of that crap. What I'm interested in is the Constitution of the United States, strictly, and that's it. I don't give a shit about what my brother in the military. I remember conversations we had in the military about people, if we ever walked by somebody stomping on the U.S. flag. And I know I'm changing subject, so I apologize. But what hits me the most, and I had to say this to a lot of the lower enlisted, look, you can get pissed off all you want. Their freedom of speech to step on that flag and do whatever they want. They want to burn it? Yeah, it'll piss me off to no end. But it's their right to do it. And so if you want to stand in the way of that, is that right or wrong?
Our freedom to burn it is their freedom to put the blue line on it.
Yeah. That's why for me, looking at Patrick, how he does, he's like basically putting the fire in the police officer's face versus instead of just saying, here's the American flag, this is what you're supposed to represent.
You really think Patrick's fighting for our rights?
No, he's not the person to fight for our rights. I can tell you that. From what I gathered, he's out there for getting money for himself, and that I realize that. I take some value of what not to do from his videos.
So who do you think is fighting for our rights?
Oh gosh. Other than the standard, you're talking the ones that are out there 24. Amigassi Press. Maybe I'm totally wrong on this, but to me, I like the guy.
No, he's cool.
I don't know him. Who is that?
Amigassi Press?
He's the one that showed John Travolta as a lunatic. You don't know him?
Yeah, Amigassi Press he takes his son with him. His son has got his own video stuff, and I watch him. Matter of fact, I've watched all his videos, so I don't have anything more to watch because I like how his approach is. He doesn't go off half-cocked in an argumentative.
John Travolta has all kinds of shit on him, and that he's does go half-cocked. He's kind of crazy, kind of.
Who, Amigassi Press?
Yeah.
Goes half-cocked on John Travolta?
On all the people in the community.
That's weird. Every time I watched him, he seems to be very cordial, unless that's his new persona.
But watching them and realizing real life are two different things.
Yeah. Well, it always is.
Yeah, I've seen some Amigassi, but it wasn't really memorable in my opinion. And I'm not saying that to be condescending. I know I watched some of it, but it wasn't. It must have been mediocre. But I'll have to pay more attention in the future.
Yeah, I like his newer audits. Seem to be he tries to be respectful as he can.
I don't think we expect what he's been doing and what he really is two different things, and that's what I look at, and that's what scares me because when somebody comes in as a perfect person, and I'm not talking about you got convicted of shit. I'm talking about you think you're a perfect person. And you come in, and he's kind of not the perfect person.
Well, no, never. Nobody will be perfect. Never. I mean, never. I don't know how to say that. I mean, for him, he's about my age. He brings his son along with him.
Yeah, but he dropped all the John Travolta videos. Why? I mean, whoever is going after all those videos got dropped for a reason. Why?
Well, I have no freaking clue. I mean,
Mr. Moxon. That's why they're dropped.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I never heard about that. What is that all about? Somebody tell me the story about this.
Now, if somebody went after John Travolta and it was an image thing, it was Mr. Moxon's the Scientology attorney, and he would have got that shit stopped and would scare you doing it.
So he is a fucking crazy fuck, but as long as you are in Scientology, you can fuck with that shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Moxon is fucking dangerous as hell. You better believe it. He served every IRS employee with a subpoena. And they backed off Scientology real quick. He's a crazy fucker. But another a good auditor that we talked about Jeff Gray. There was, I think it was News Now Central Ohio or one of the fellas. Who was the guy in Central Ohio that was he only did a few videos and he had a really good start and he was doing things right, but then he hasn't made any videos in 2 years, maybe 2.5 years.
Wow.
Anybody in Ohio that's a good auditor? Don, come on.
Yeah, no, there was. And you know what? I'll have to find him tomorrow and I'll post a link to one of his videos and you would like him because he does his shit right. And he keeps his mouth shut.
And then he disappeared.
Exactly. Because you can't find corrupt cops.
Because he keeps his mouth shut. That's what you should do. You should shut your mouth and fucking video them. And when you don't keep your mouth shut, that's when your videos end.
Oh, exactly.
BRB, I gotta go drain.
Whew. Why do you say that? Ew.
A balance. Is that true? Is Mouse seriously reporting that he has COVID?
Oh, Mouse is so cute.
Well, you guys, I've
What is
been
Mouse reporting?
that he has the COVID. I don't know if A Balance is trolling us or not.
The only question I would have is he begging about it?
No,
Does he
he's
need that?
not.
I heard that Trump said that I don't know. I just heard this from somebody today that Trump said that nobody was going to have to pay for any COVID treatments or any COVID testing or anything like that in the United States, as long as they were, I guess, citizens. I don't know.
You go to the hospital and you know you don't have to pay. We all know you don't have to pay. So, whatever.
I mean,
Gargamel, do I? I'm sorry, Teresa.
No, go ahead, Don.
In the comments, Gargamel, do I know you from way back?
Aw.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys.
Oh, Mouse can't tell the difference between his regular cough and a COVID cough. I see.
Aw. So we should avoid Mouse.
Oh, that ought to be good for just a few donations. He's probably hungry.
Maybe first, maybe somebody will send him a pizza. All right, you guys, I've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes and 7, 8, 9 seconds. And I think everybody here wants to be able to talk again around the house. So I'm going to go ahead and end this panel as much as I've enjoyed it.
Thank you, Teresa. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Bless your heart. NJ, Don, thank y'all so much for coming. Travis, come see us in Discord. I'll get you in a server that a lot of people are in, and the one that you're in right now, it's just the one that we kind of use for me to be able to show stuff on live streams and stuff. But I'll get you in one of the other servers so that you'll be able to talk with us more.
Teresa, you're one of the most awesome women I've ever met, and everybody can fucking suck my dick because you are fucking awesome. Anyway, bye.
Thank you. Bless your heart.
Yeah, and Travis, the one I gave you was Bedlam, but it has a lot of good material.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we'd love to help walk you through this, and we'll introduce you to other auditors. You know, and you can, I mean, nobody's going to tell you what to do and what not to do, but we just, I don't know, just, want to get into it, dip a toe in very carefully.
No, and I get you. You want to make sure that us newbies, FNGs, go forward in the right way, which is what I want to do.
Most definitely.
And I appreciate everyone's advice and input that they've given to me. Because to me, this is awesome. I guess I should stop because my blowhard is going on hard right now.
I'd like a hard blowhard.
Well, I've enjoyed listening to all of y'all, but it's time for me to get off. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful evening, and don't get infected, and keep your hands washed. And I'll see you guys all back in Discord.
Love you, Teresa.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take care.